don't need 20 friends. You just need 3 motherfuckers and you can take over a country. Okay, that's what we're confused as Americans. We think we need all these motherfuckers. You give me 3 bad motherfuckers and you're finished. You understand me? You're fucking finished because we got each other. And you know, listen.
Look alive. Season fucking 3 are here. Mondo Matters, your favorite podcast, is back from hiatus. Hi, haters.
God damn.
It's been a while, man.
Long while, bro.
And it's been a good long while for a good damn reason. I am your humble host, J Optics, here with my brother and co-host, man who rides 2 horses.
Not so humble, Nove, man. What up, man?
Not so humble, Nove.
You already know what time it is, man.
NOV. You are the third wheel.
I am.
In this vehicle.
I am.
Not you, man. The listeners. They're the third wheel.
Oh, well, you know.
All right. In this tricycle of joy.
Okay.
It's been a while. It's a couple of diehard fans out there who have been like, where the fuck y'all been at?
What the fuck going on?
And the diehard fans that's on some shit like, yeah, whenever y'all post a new episode, I get a notification on my phone and I hit that motherfucker before I go to work and shit.
Exactly.
You people are the ones that we appreciate more than anything.
Absolutely.
And this episode is especially dedicated to you. We mentioned it in the top of the show. This is the start of season 3. Do not be alarmed. Things aren't going to deviate far from what the fuck that we've been doing. But man, the way me and Nove is set up, we like to shake shit up every once in a while.
Damn it.
God damn it, shake up the goddamn soda and just open the cap.
Yeah, man.
All right, so we're going to be doing things a little bit differently. We got some things coming in the horizon that's very exciting.
Got some surprises for y'all motherfuckers, man. I hope y'all ready, y'all. Oh, man, I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
I do not like being away from you guys for too long.
That's true.
Because as a person who doesn't miss people often, I miss our listeners more than anything. But yeah, we've been away for the show for one big good ass reason.
I was about to say you had a lot going on. We had a lot going on.
I had one big thing going on.
Big thing going on? What
Yes.
big thing?
So the last time you heard this show, I didn't have a child.
No.
But if you're listening to this show now, your boy, your daddy.
Oh, man. Congratulations. Congratulations, man. Clap it up. Clap it up, goddammit.
Thank you. You in the back, white dress. Appreciate it.
Damn.
But, yeah, I had a son.
Yeah,
my son, Severe. I know we had that one clip that went semi-viral last year when we was recording in not a Media Group's studio. And I said, every man, before he leaves this earth, should do 3 things.
Yeah.
Build a tree.
Plant a tree.
Or plant a tree.
Can't build a tree, but I got you.
I mean, you kind of can.
I mean, yeah, the way things are now.
Plant a tree. Write a book.
Have a son.
Have a son.
Yeah.
And I'd be goddamn if I didn't have a son.
There you go.
And I heard trees aren't that expensive to plant, so I'm probably going to do that next.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a son. He's been enjoying my life, man. Changed my life from the first moment that I saw him. First moment I looked into his eyes and looked into mine, and he stopped crying when he was crying. Yeah, he changed me. Severe, Kendrick Underwood.
Oh, man.
For those who don't know, how the fuck you come up with the name Severe and shit? The shit came to me when I was like 12 years old. Don't ask me how. Kendrick, his middle name, comes from me and my wife's favorite rapper, Kendrick Lamar. And Underwood, obviously, because that's my last name. But yeah,
yes, sir.
He's in our world, and he's extended our family by one. And he's been an absolute blessing. Beautiful smile, beautiful boy. And I love him to pieces, man. I love him to death, man. Fatherhood has definitely changed me. And the biggest change that I feel that I have went through that maybe most fathers who are expecting, who haven't had their child yet, the biggest flex when your baby first comes out is you really just stop giving a fuck about everything. As soon as he comes out, like your pride, your ego, how you appear, the things you saying, having a filter on yourself, it's like, I don't give a fuck. As long as I take care of this nigga,
everything else
you're just gonna have to deal with that shit.
Okay.
That's been like the biggest flex for somebody who probably lives his life a little bit filtered by certain values. Like, I don't give a fuck no more. So I love that part. But yeah,
I love that for you, man. And it was an absolute blessing to see my godson and be around. And actual real life footage of Nove pushing the baby carriage.
That's right.
I'm not going to say nothing. You know, I'm gonna say this one time. I'm single. Ladies, I looked absolutely phenomenal. My strut was on point. My pacing was great. I mean,
he had two hands on the stroller the whole time.
It was awesome, man. It looked like I was born for that.
You didn't hold the baby though.
A little bit.
When you did hold him, you held him awkwardly.
But you know what it is? You know, like, you know, shout out to DPG, Dre the Peace God. Last time I held a baby, things didn't go incredibly well. So, you know.
Rest in peace to that baby.
No. The baby is alive and well. Josiah is alive and well.
Is it?
Yes, he is.
I don't know.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know.
But anyway, yeah, I've been, you know what? It's, I can understand how some people get baby fever. I get it.
Yeah, for sure.
And, as we've talked about many times in private, off mic and on mic, like, you know, that time is approaching where you're starting to look at things and you're starting to really take inventory of what you want and the things that are important to you. And, I feel like that is a role that I feel like I was designed for.
Ooh, now you sound like me.
Yeah.
Because you know, I always said that I think I was put in this world to be a father.
Yeah.
I truly feel that way.
I feel like
now that he's here, I could kind of like, I could confirm that. Like, oh yeah, I was built for this shit.
I feel like my personality, demeanor, my calm, my multiple layered personality is perfect for that. So looking forward to see what happens in the future. You know what I mean?
Well, you'll be able to get some practice because you are a godfather. So we'll see what you're talking about.
I'm letting you know.
Shit come to shit.
Oh, I'm letting you know that first diaper change. I'm absolutely going to lose it, but it's all right. It's okay. I prepared myself.
I ain't gonna say shit. I'm just gonna let you feel.
You just go watch.
I'm gonna let you feel the feels and fucking deal with the consequences, brother. And just be like, that's the gig. You get to figure out the same way I figured it out. Okay. Clean off your shirt and your pants and keep it moving. Both of y'all need to be changed now.
Yeah,
simple as that.
All right.
But yeah, man, season 3, we back, man. We're excited to be back. We're excited with the content that we have for today.
Season 3, though.
Season 3.
Let that set in.
You know how many shows don't get to a season 3? Come on, man. You can't cancel this.
That's crazy.
You can't cancel what God made.
Nah.
But yeah, season 3, what we talking about on today's episode. So obviously anybody who's tuned into the show before on a regular basis know that last season we spent the bulk of last season 2, breaking down movies. But we also mentioned that we will be breaking down movies, music, things that's going on in real life, social media, things of that nature. So we're excited to announce that we're going to be doing our first song today.
Oh, man.
And the song that we're going to be doing is Drake featuring SZA.
Slime You Out. Boy.
I can't wait to break this shit down.
Boy, oh boy.
Man, as soon as I heard the record, I was like, I think I know what episode 1 is going to be like.
Man, you remember we had the conversation where I was like, yo, it's this song out I've been listening to for like the last 4 days. Like, yo.
That's true.
Man. Like, yo.
I listened to the song, but I didn't really get the gravity of it until you brought it up. I was like, oh, I needed somebody else to kind of feel it with me. When we was talking in the park that day, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's some fucking shit in that song that probably needs our attention.
And I'm waiting for him to drop the rest of his album, man. He out here dragging his feet. It's supposed to be out yesterday, man. I don't know what he's doing.
I think he said he could drop it October 5th.
I thought it was...
Or something like that.
It was supposed to drop the 22nd.
But it's October's very own. It only makes sense to just push it to October.
Hurry the fuck up, man. Hurry the fuck up. I heard some things about this upcoming album. I heard there's some very controversial topics on there. I heard he talking kind of crazy, talking kind of spicy. And this song is any indication of what's to come on this album, boy, oh boy.
But what's coming in this episode, though, what's going to be interesting about doing this episode, if I'm being transparent, is me listening and breaking down the lyrics in this song, but also me being 100% honest with myself and knowing that I'm probably one of the biggest Drake haters on the planet.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So it's going to be weird. It's going to be a weird dynamic. It's definitely going to be a weird dynamic.
It's going to be hilarious.
If you haven't listened to the song, If you got Apple Music or Spotify or YouTube for that matter, anybody who doesn't have YouTube, I don't know if you don't have internet access or whatever. We don't want any spoilers. Go listen to the track. It's like 4 minutes or less. It's Drake featuring SZA, and it's called Slime You Out. Don't listen to no remixes and nothing like that. Just listen to the official version. Pause this episode, listen to the track, come back, and then break it down with us, man.
Come back.
And make sure you pull up, get you something to drink, get you something to smoke, and just rock with us. So. Speaking
of drinking and smoking, as we've indicated so many times before, this is not a dry show.
Oh, no.
We don't do dry. No. We don't do sober. We don't do slightly sober. So, the pick for today is from your man Nove. There's a story behind this, right? Recently was with a family outing with, the bro DPG. And, you don't want to show up to a cookout or anything or any type of event empty-handed. Of course not. That's just niggerish.
It's bad form.
Yeah, it's niggerish. Don't ever pull up to a function with paper plates in your life. I'm telling you right now, it's going to end bad. But I happened to pick up this gem in the rough, and I've been on my experimental shit when it comes to certain things. I feel like I'm a good judge of character. And when I tell you this particular gem was a hit all the way around. All the way around. Shout out to Erica, shout out to Dre, shout out to Brandon, both of them. But B, you know what up. Everybody that was there, man, y'all know what it is, man. This had me stuck. Like, feet nailed to the floor stuck.
Okay.
And I was like, whew.
Elmer's glue stuck.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, yo, this here? So, the name of the bottle, the name of the liquor is called Jefferson's Reserve. Right? Okay. This is a very old Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey.
I love me some bourbon.
Very small batch. The price point on this is about $64 to $70. So you're entering that range of not cheap, but it shouldn't break your bank. In my opinion, this is definitely not just like I'm a dog you out or playing into words and all of that. This ain't a slime you out.
Okay.
This is take your time, enjoy yourself. If you into cigars, perfect.
So I really enjoy this very family friendly, happened upon PG-13 story that you told about Jefferson's Reserve. Allow me to tell a slightly more adult version of my experience with Jefferson Reserve.
Okay.
I thought you was about to whip out a bottle of some shit I never had before, and I was really excited and looking forward to this shit.
Uh-oh.
But I've had Jefferson Reserve.
Okay.
And the last time I had it, my night didn't end well.
Oh, why not?
When I started my whiskey journey back in 2011, this was one of the first whiskeys that I encountered. Okay. It was a Jefferson Reserve. It was this. It was Knob Creek. It was Jack Daniels. But I started off the bourbon route because I felt like it was something that was going to be more like my flavor based on the flavor profile that I had Googled and shit.
Okay.
So I thought that it would be a good idea to fuck with this shit before I had the little sneaky link situation. I can't say sneaky link because I was single at the time. So it was a little bit of a sneaky link situation on their end.
Okay.
So anybody that believes in the term whiskey dick, I had my first encounter of whiskey dick when it came to some Jefferson Reserve.
Oh, okay.
My night didn't go as planned.
Oh.
My performance level, because I fancy myself the second and third round daddy.
You got to.
I ain't have one.
Oh, wow.
That night.
Oh, nah. Put you out?
It put me out. If you ever been in a situation as a man where you had to go into the bathroom and had a little talk with yourself and shit.
Oh, yeah.
That pep talk ain't work. Maybe I wasn't saying the right things to myself or something like that, but the shit just didn't go.
Okay.
But It's good because it's been a while since I had it, so I'm looking forward to getting refamiliar with it.
Have you had this particular blend?
I have.
Oh, okay. All right. So yeah. So
That's
maybe
that's the exact bottle that I've had.
Okay, so maybe the fact that it had me stuck to the floor like that wasn't just me.
I mean, it didn't have me stuck to the floor, but it probably had me stuck in the bathroom or some shit. But
it was just like,
it is what it is.
So, cheers up. Yeah, just the way I remember it. Just the way I remember it. Nice and smooth.
Very nice bourbon. Smooth. Tobacco heavy.
It don't do too much. That's what I like about it. It don't do too much. It do just enough.
It don't got a big bite to it.
Nah.
I mean, this is a bottle that's going. I wouldn't call this bottle cheap by any stretch of the imagination.
Nah, that's what I said.
Depending on what you do for a living. But like, hey, if you wanted to pick up a bottle of bourbon at this price point, you said what, $60?
About 60, yeah.
$60. This shit fits very well into the social drinking.
Yeah.
Like if you want to pass this around and just have people vibe the fuck out, but still get a buzz or some shit like that.
This is it.
Like this is it.
This is it.
It's not harsh. It's very tobacco forward. It's not very sweet, which is kind of like very different from some other bourbons.
Mm-hmm.
I would even go as far as to say like I would cook with this bourbon. Like if I had to make it like a barbecue sauce or something like that, I would definitely put some Jefferson Reserve in there.
A little bit of like
for sure.
Honey barbecue wings with a little tang in it.
Yeah. And I know motherfuckers have like criticized me saying the whole what this drink should be for. Shit like
yeah, be careful.
But I would say this though. If I knew a young lady that was drinking this and then I drunk it, I'd be on some shit like, I can see why you fuck with this. This is like, I don't want to go out and say female friendly. But like, if the bitches was drinking this, I'd be on some shit like, yeah, you got good taste.
I feel like it's grown.
It's grown as fuck.
Like, I feel like if you're like us, whose palates have grown a little bit, you know, you might play around with Hennessy if you try and get into a little trouble. Hearing it.
Yeah.
But if you want like a more refined, I just want to vibe and have a good time, I don't want too much noisy shit, like this is perfect.
If you're a female and you out there and you want to sip on something that ain't Moscato or wine
or Casamigos for you heathens,
well, I don't know why
out
you
there.
would be sipping on tequila.
I know somebody that brushed their teeth with it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Dangerous young Spanish woman.
Live your life. Hey.
She is definitely not Spanish, but I understand what you're trying to do.
If you want to sip on something that is not, you know, your regular Barefoot or Moscato, Rossi, whatever it is out there that y'all drinking.
I feel like this is the way, man. I feel like this is
I can see if a young lady want an intro to some bourbon whiskey, drink this. Jefferson Reserve.
Yeah.
What would be your score? I'm writing down the score right now as we speak.
I mean, I introduced it, so I feel like I introduced it, and even more, I introduced something that you already knew about, which is very rare.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm gonna go 8.5.
Okay. I was thinking, I hope you don't go over that because that's where I'm at. So I will go 8.5 as well. But the beautiful thing about this Jefferson bourbon, it has the taste profile of some shit like as you drink it, the score just keep going up.
Yeah.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, cheers, man. Cheers to you out there, wherever y'all drinking as y'all listen to this podcast, whatever you smoking. If you're on that runts pack while you drinking this, while you taking in this podcast, do so. But yeah, we're going to have a good time off this Jefferson. So be good.
Be great.
And if you're in the Essex County area, go pick you up a bottle of Jefferson Reserve and then go to Jefferson's in Montclair or East Orange to get you some soul food.
Oh, man.
I gotta plug that
you
shit.
out here linking now.
They've been good to me.
We out here linking.
They've been good to me.
For the record, man, we out here shouting out all these people, man. Put in a like, subscribe, follow, please. Like, mine on matters. Anything we tag, anything we mention, give them a word, let them know we talking about them. We see they work.
But all right, let's get into season 3, man. Unfortunately, we got to start off season 3 with a little bit of bad morning news.
Yeah.
First of all, we got to go rest in peace to Irish from 702.
R.I.P.
702, back in the height of their careers, was probably thought of as maybe like one of 5 of the more popular R&B groups.
Top 5, top
females.
10. Yeah, top 5, top 10.
You know, you think about 702, you think about Black, you think about SWV.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That nigga said Black.
Black,
Jesus Christ. Whew. Shit.
But yeah, 702. They definitely had a run. 3LW, of course.
These
702.
broken promises.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They definitely had their run. I had a little crush on Irish, man. I felt like she was the prettiest in the group.
She was.
She was my thing.
She was.
So,
She was.
but yeah, unfortunately, she passed away very young. I believe she was in her 40s. She was an identical twin as well. Though the family hasn't given the details of what exactly she passed away from, they did insinuate that it was a long battle with something. Her identical twin passed away when they was in their mid to late 20s from a kidney situation. So I'm hoping, or I'm assuming that it may have something to do with, you know, some internal organ or whatever. But yeah, rest in peace, man. Right, 702 definitely left a mark on the game. Anybody that would see 702 whenever they did reunion shows or tours or something like that, it wouldn't be on some shit like, oh, who's that? Like, people, they made their mark. And she did as well, so.
These young motherfuckers not recognizing true talent when they see it no more. Man.
Yeah, man, rest in peace.
Crazy.
Rest in peace for sure.
You know what I love about this episode? Besides it being the first episode of a new season?
Shoot.
It's literally a new season.
It truly is a new season.
Fall here. Matter of fact, I said that the wrong way. Hoodie season is back, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, hot girl summer, hot boy summer. That shit is fucking over.
Dead.
It's the first day of fall. God damn it, hoodie
Get
season.
your ass
is
in the
back
house.
In the building.
It's cold outside.
Like, I don't got to argue with you.
Nah.
Maybe I got to argue with some other people.
Yeah.
Fall the best season out
Absolutely.
of all the seasons.
It's the only season I feel like besides spring you can really dress and throw some shit on.
Summer is too hot.
Absolutely.
A lot of places, depending on where you live, it's too many motherfuckers outside.
Winter is way too cold. Out here dressing like the Michelin tire.
Winter is way too cold. And depending on where you live at, the snow is crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Spring, if you got allergies, good
it's
luck.
A wrap. It's a wrap. I feel sorry for you every time spring come around.
What we got in fall, dog? We
Bruh.
got...
Oh, man.
You gonna start rocking your layers.
Oh, God.
Early days of fall, you'll have days where you can rock shorts. You can rock a t-shirt just outside and your little fitted.
Throwing your hoodie.
Throwing your J's.
Throwing your hoodie, your little leather combination, or your fucking jean jacket combination, or...
Football season starts.
Oh, God.
Basketball season starts. College football, college basketball season starts. You still got baseball if you're into that.
2K season start.
2K comes out.
Man,
Madden is running into the
up.
shit.
Come on, man.
Like, come on, man. It's fall all the way. A lot of times the best shows on television came on in the fall.
Or coming back. Yeah.
Or coming back.
Yeah.
So yeah, fall is definitely where it's at. And I'll give y'all one little piece of nugget out there as well, why fall is the best season. I think they did a survey of all the people who live to be 100. Most of them are born in the fall. So people who are born in the fall live longer. Why? I have no idea. But whatever.
They ain't got to deal with no heat, no summer. I mean, it's just you right in the middle of everything.
Yeah, man.
But like I was talking to somebody, fall can be a fickle mistress. Like today, it's a brisk 60 something, rain, cloudy, whatever.
You also got a hurricane coming though.
Hurricane coming, but all my northeast people understand it's fall we talk about. It could be 60 today, 80 tomorrow,
85,
negative 20 the next day, 95 the next day. We don't know what the fuck we're going to get. That's the fun shit about fall, though. That's the absolute fun shit about fall. It's like you get excited.
You can see a nigga outside with a hoodie and shorts on and be on some shit like, I get it.
Yeah, you don't know exactly what you're preparing for.
I understand it. The nigga got 3 outfits on. He's just hiding one with the hoodie and shit.
Yeah.
All right, when I get to my destination, I'll take my hoodie off.
Just got to be
Show
prepared.
this fire t-shirt off.
You got to be prepared for whatever come.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's an exciting time, but it's also a time to use caution. But
speaking of like some good shows that premiere in the fall, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up because of the fact that in my household, we've been looking for shit to watch We can't keep watching the Game of Thrones from beginning to end over and over again.
You could, but I understand.
Who wants to do that?
I get you.
So yeah, it's a new show that premiered on Peacock, The Continental, which is from the John Wick universe.
Mr. Wick.
And John Wick, if you're a fan of that, if you aren't a fan of that, I don't know why you're listening to this goddamn show. John Wick franchise was fantastic.
Absolutely.
You know what? I hated John Wick 3 for some reason.
Did you really?
I did.
Huh.
Because I fell asleep in the movie theater on a particular scene. And I was like, oh, I fell asleep on it because it was trash. After rewatching it, I'm like, that shit wasn't trash. That shit was actually fire. The whole Halle Berry with the 2 dogs.
Yeah.
Shit, that shit was fire.
That shit was fire. And we have to preface it by saying Optics falls asleep in a lot of movies. That
You know what? I don't really appreciate that.
I'm just saying, I'm pointing it out because I don't want you to steer the narrative and have them thinking like shit is bad. But
I don't appreciate
I
that
will
shit.
see your part 3 and I will raise you part 4. And here's how I will raise you part 4. I fell asleep through multiple scenes in part 4.
Yeah.
And I left the theater and I was like, okay, I feel like this was the worst one. And I didn't feel like I gave it a fair shake because if you're falling asleep in a movie, one of 2 things. You're either tired of shit or it's boring.
The movie's trash.
So I was like, all right, you know what? Let me run it back. Let me run this back. And I'm not talking about going back. We don't do that. Like that's reserved for special movies. But I caught it in piracy mode. I'm not going to point nothing out. You know, shout out to a couple of apps out there.
Piracy.
And I watched it all the way through, and I was like, all right. Yeah, it's still the worst one, but I have a little bit more respect for it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but the Continental, I haven't really peeked at it yet. I don't know if you have. I'm pretty sure you have.
I haven't watched it. No, I haven't watched it yet.
Not at all?
I plan on watching it. I have special days reserved for watching new television shows because I could get pissed off very easily if I'm spending my time an hour or 45 minutes on a new show. I need to make sure it's worth my time. And being that I'm a new father, and I got a newborn in the crib.
Yeah, you gotta put aside stuff for what you want. Speaking of a new show that I'm kind of mad ended, I felt like it ended early. And maybe I feel like it ended early because it was so fucking good. Special Ops Lioness.
I started watching that fire show.
Ooh, buddy, if y'all not up on
Fire
that,
show.
it comes on Paramount Plus. Unless some of y'all out there got that, you know, that piracy hookup. You know what I mean? But that show
Fire
is fucking fire.
That show was tough. I pirated it. I'm not gonna lie to y'all out there. I definitely pirate that shit. I'm fucking Captain Hook when it comes to that shit.
Gold.
So yeah, Lioness is definitely fire. Last thing on shows, right quick. We looking for something to watch. I threw on The Shy from season 1. Am I wasting my time or no?
You're asking somebody that's biased about it, and here's why. I feel like after they let my man go, I forgot his name for whatever the case or whatever happened, I lost interest. Okay. But from what I've heard,
and they got Mannn on the show now too. So
I heard it's fire. I heard it's dumb fire. And you know, with the piracy and the the Buccaneers hookup we got, I can very well delve back into it and catch up in a matter of 2 days. So
speaking of Mannn Shumpert,
oh man, we're already here.
Let's get into matters of the heart because that's what we do at the Mannn on Matters show. Of course, we got to keep y'all abreast and let y'all know what we up to. 2023 has not been kind to marriages out there, y'all.
Boy, man, that's a lot.
What are we doing?
It's a lot of staples of black love that's taking a loss right now. There's a lot of staples.
Contrary to what other battle rappers might say, when we talk about celebrity, iconic black couples that give us the idea of black love, give us that fucking feeling that's down in the kidneys, like that's what that's what the hell you want.
This is it. This is what we work for.
A lot of people, I won't say myself, because I've been married and in a relationship for a while. My ideas of relationship is totally different, not based on celebrities.
Yes, sir.
But when I did look at the relationship between Tiana Taylor and Amon Shumpert, I did see some shit that kind of make you feel like, oh, that kind of feels like relationship goals.
Yeah.
Or marriage goals. They separated. Damn it.
What's going on here?
They separated, man.
What's going on out here?
There have been some reports that there was some type of side chick involved that leaked a lot of receipts online to a certain somebody that shall remain nameless on this podcast.
Is there? We don't out nobody out here.
Yeah, I don't deal with the middleman like that.
We don't do that.
But Tiana Taylor personally went online to say that their separation has nothing to do with any of the rumors that y'all hearing about infidelity or cheating or anything like that. That she continues to foster a good co-parenting relationship with Iman. They are in their child's life the same way that they was before they separated, but they just going in two different directions, and they still the best of friends. It's just that their relationship ain't working out and shit. And it's like, I tell you, man, when you think about black marriage, when you think about marriage, period, it's already fucking fragile these days.
Yeah.
But whenever you hear stuff like this, the fragility of it just keeps getting added to, it's like adding salt to the fucking foundation. It's like, damn, y'all niggas couldn't keep it together.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
It really kind of, it takes a hit to the overarching thought process and the vision that, young black men and women have on black love and couples and power couples and everything else. It's like, fuck, like, yo, not them.
And the reason I think it hits hard is because people who are in their late 20s, early 30s, mid 30s, late 30s, 40s, we're looking at people that are in our age range.
Yeah.
And they are the ones that we kind of identify with. So when you see like relationships or marriages like theirs break up, you kind of think, like, oh, what the fuck is the point?
Yeah.
I mean, we ain't looking at a relationship like Angela Bassett and Courtney B. Vance and being on some shit like, oh, that's the goals. Because they kind of like above our age range.
Yeah.
And we kind of feel like, oh, they must be operating in a different type of relationship ideology or mentality than we are.
Yeah.
So we don't resonate with them. So when we see like an Amon Shumpert and Tiana Taylor breakup, it's kind of like, man, it really ain't no hope for no goddamn love out here or some shit.
Tell you would think so. And it's crazy.
Lala Anthony and Carmelo, stuff like that.
Yeah. That's wild.
So they aren't the only marriage, like I said, that's been struggling in 2023. We also got Jenny Mai and Young Jeezy. I think he knocked off the Young Jeezy. He's just Jeezy now. But Young Jeezy has filed from divorce from Jenny Mai, who's a host on The View. If you might know, not a black and black couple.
Yeah,
she's of Asian descent, but still. He cited that they have different family values and family goals. Was the reason for that. She also has had situations in the past where she mentioned that her attitude and the way she be talking when she's upset was a little bit of a tough thing for Jeezy to kind of look past early on in their marriage, in that he had to check her a couple of times. Mm-hmm. She came into the marriage, I think she was in a previous relationship where she told the gentleman that she had no intention, that she doesn't want to have kids. And that was like a determining factor in whether or not they had broke up. I guess Jeezy kind of got off that shit. They actually had a child a year ago.
Yeah.
My opinion is that Jeezy probably wanted more kids.
Yeah.
And she was probably like, nigga, I gave you the one.
Yeah.
I'm good now.
Exactly. Can I say something on that real quick?
I mean, say what you want. Shit, show.
Oh, man. This one was actually very interesting to see, more so from the reaction it got from my black sisters out there. I ain't never seen so many people so happy to see this shit happen. Oh my God. Like, yo, y'all are some of the most disrespectful motherfuckers I've ever seen in my life. I love it though. I love it and hate it at the same time. I love that these are the times where you see, like, the queens actually do want their kings. You know what I mean? Like, in a twisted way, you see, like, you know, they want their black men. But it's crazy to see sometimes, so many times people have stuff to say about situations and relationships sometimes, and they always say certain things like, if that was fill in the blank, I wouldn't be doing that. He'd do this, that, and the third. And I'm calling bullshit on a lot of that. I'm calling bullshit. Because if you were doing what you said you were going to do, and you were holding it down the way you said you were going to hold it down, and you said you was going to do this and that, you wouldn't be single. But we're gonna get to that.
I digress.
We're gonna get to that in a minute.
So there was this viral clip that Jenny Mai had a couple of years ago. I believe it's been a couple of years now. She had said something about they had a topic they was talking about on The View in their round table, and they was talking about their racial preferences. And she had this classic clip where she had said like, "Yo, I like my white meat, but I like to have a little bit of dark meat on the side."
Yeah.
Bitch.
Yeah.
You don't get your general... Man, listen.
Hey, yo, man. Hey, yo. Watch your mouth.
Bro. Stop it.
Watch your mouth.
Stop it.
Watch your mouth.
She stop it.
Hey, watch your mouth.
She should watch her mouth.
I do remember that clip, and I do remember.
But it's like, you can't hold a motherfucker to what they say at every single word that they say at all times. But as a black man, hold on, no. You can't bring up some shit that I said 10 years ago in the midst of a conversation and think that is an overall representation on how I feel about a whole subset of people. You can't do that unless what I said is completely flagrant. What we talking about is preferences. Because if you ask me as a black man, I'm gonna be on some shit like, nigga, I want a black woman. Okay. I'm gonna marry me a black woman. 10 years later, I meet the love of my life, and she just happens to be Afro-Latina or Latino. Or some shit. People gonna be on some shit like, hey man, remember you said, what about your black queens? You could have got an Erykah Badu, but you sit up here with a Cubana Lust that ain't on heroin and shit. Like, what's up? I'm be on some shit like, hey man, like, I could have grown in that. I could have grown in the last 10 years, maybe. So I'm not going to hold that against her. But as a black man, knowing that shit right there is on the record, I'm probably going to be on some shit like, yeah, I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit that you said and shit. So I don't know. To be quite honest, knowing what we know about we talking about thug motivation, Jeezy, Snowman.
Talk about trap music, Jeezy. Talk about
even seeing him get with her in the first place was kind of like, yeah,
it was a little weird.
Well,
not gonna lie, it was a little weird.
It must be something there. It must be something there. I didn't get that one. But as we move on, man,
if you out here in this traffic, man, be careful.
Yeah. Oh, for those of y'all that's driving in Jersey, that's reaching the four-way intersection where everybody got a stop sign, be careful.
Yeah, man, because somebody just
try to go in the order you arrived.
Somebody just did something that don't sound right. Jesus Christ.
But yeah, let's get to this last one, man. 2023, these fucking marriages is fucking assault, man. People really don't give a fuck about your marriage.
You want to know quiet, not quiet type of situation that's been developing for a minute between Blueface and Krishan?
I don't feel like talking about them, dog. I really don't. I don't want to talk about no people that got mental health problems. I really don't.
Okay.
We could do a whole episode on that, but nah, we
not now.
We slime you out today. That's we're not doing that.
I like it. What we got? I mean, there is
nigga. This one hurt, bro. This one hurt. I'm not even gonna lie to you. This one right here.
Why did it hurt though?
This could bring a tear to a dude's eyes.
Why did it hurt?
I think because I resonate with the husband a little bit on this one.
Hey, talk about it.
And it ain't like to the T of their relationship, but like I know what it feels like to hold the chick down and her think that, oh, there must be better options out there.
All right, you know what? You sound like you about to get deep, so I'm gonna let you.
No, it ain't a deep situation.
You sure?
That comes later.
Okay, all right.
Remy Ma and Pat Poose.
Pat Poose.
While maybe not the poster children of black love as we think about it with Tiana Taylor and Lamont Shumpert.
Okay.
Because now we just looking at two people that they look like they in love. We got a R&B artist. We got a basketball player. They raising a child. They supporting each other. They both funny as hell and shit. They got the reality TV show. Everything looks good on television. That was one version of black love. The reason why this one resonates with some of us is because those of us who has come from the struggle know a lot of times when somebody go down, one person that sticks around while the other person is locked up, that shit goes a long way. Because a lot of motherfuckers will have your ass be locked up for years and they be off to the next in a couple months. This was the inverse. Remember Remy Ma got locked up?
Yeah.
6 years.
I do remember. Yeah.
Pat Poose.
Yeah.
I ain't saying Pat Poose ain't never touched another woman while she was locked up.
Nope.
But goddamn it, he ain't filed for no divorce or embarrassed Remy Ma here in the public. Did he not?
Didn't throw mud on nobody's name. I hear you.
I would argue that Remy Ma, after she got out of prison, got more popping than she was before she even went into prison.
That's a fact.
So Remy Ma, rapper from New York, part of Terror Squad, if you don't know. Pat Poose, rapper from New York, Brooklyn. He was on Flip Mode. I think he was on Def Jam for a couple of months. Something happened. But anywho, I digress.
Maybe.
Both of them rappers they met, they love looked like they was like, he stuck with her through her 6-year prison sentence after she had shot somebody for trying to rob her or something.
Yeah. And hit somebody in the face with a cell phone. Remember that?
Yes. They were married. Their love looked beautiful. They was also on the reality TV shows and all this other good jazz. Remy Ma, who I guess with her some other partnerships had started a battle rap league or something like that. You correct me if I'm wrong because I don't know the details on the battle rap scene.
Yeah, that's where
I don't know if she started off. I don't know if she started it herself or she was just involved or mouthpiece for or whatever.
Nah, she's the face and the owner of Chrome 23. By the way, there's no place like home. There's no place like Chrome.
Got you. No place like Chrome. There's a battle rapper out there, another New York battle rapper called Easy the Block Captain.
Correction, Philly.
He's from Philly?
Philly. Easy the Block Captain.
Appreciate that. I'm glad I got an aficionado here.
Mm-hmm.
Easy the Block Captain.
Mm-hmm.
Ugly ass nigga.
Not getting into that with that.
There was some rumors swirling months ago that these two had a little bit of a thing going on. I had read something just in scrolling on Twitter like 5 months ago that there was like some flirtatious shit that somebody who was like off to the side that had said like, I don't know, these two motherfuckers looking real cozy in this room or whatever like that. Whatever. I don't care about that. But there's rumors start circulating online that Remy Ma and Easy the Block Captain from Philly had started up some type of romantic relationship with each other. Right? To this day, correct me if I'm wrong, neither one of which have denied outright.
I would say my main issue with this is...
No, just correct me on that part. Have either one of them have denied that they are fucking with the other yet? Outwardly, no.
Not in a convincing manner, no.
Okay, as I proceed. Pat Poose got wind of this allegations that y'all two was romantically involved.
All right, so here's where
I wasn't in the room.
Here's where I interject a little bit. Because mainstream culture has a way of catching things on a little bit late. As you will know, I'm heavy in battle rap and everything that goes on in it for the most part. What happened was, all alleged, no video, plenty of witnesses, etc., etc. After a battle rap event, probably about 2 to 3 months ago, there's a report that Papoose stormed into the back, knocked out Easy the Block Captain.
Yes.
Remy, by her security, came, little back and forth, and that's all we heard.
Yeah, so I was about to go there.
Apologies.
No, go ahead.
But till this point, Papoose hasn't said a word.
Right.
There have been no clear denials of philandering or messing around. And Easy has denied, quote unquote, getting knocked out. Technically.
All right, so that's baseline backstory. Remy Ma, Papoose, married. There was some allegations that she was messing with an employee. Another rapper from Philly. Papoose had to go check this man verbally and physically. And then we move forward.
Yeah.
That whole situation felt like we'll put that to the back burner as viewers, and we'll see how that situation plays out.
Yeah.
Until it got brought to the forefront recently in a battle that happened between Easy the Block Captain and another rapper that I'm guessing is from California.
Compton,
right?
Geechee Gotti.
Geechee Gotti. First of all, I wish I could pour a drink right now, but I'm in my zone right now. I want to give this man a fucking I want to give this man a salute and a shot. A Jefferson Reserve and shit.
Geechee.
I'm not a big battle rap fan. And a part of the reason is because not enough niggas do what the fuck he did in his third round.
Oh, my
Lord. Versus Easy the Block Captain.
Lord, that third round.
In the venue, you could probably tell me where the venue was. I don't know. I know it wasn't in New York.
It was in Camden.
It was in Camden, New Jersey.
It was in Camden, yeah.
Very ironic that they didn't have a shit in New York. But anyhow, I digress. In a venue where Remy Ma was front and center.
Yeah.
And was battling against her new love interest, Easy the Block Captain. Geechee in his third round decided to take a full-blown verbal assault at how Remy Ma was in bad taste in fucking with this nigga when she was married to Papoose. And this nigga eloquently, subtly, beautifully touched on that topic in a way that was so understandable from a nigga's point of view that you couldn't even be mad that he went there.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned.
What makes that round hit so much harder, in my opinion, is for all those that don't know, Easy the Block Captain versus Geechee Gotti is out on YouTube. There's some clips and everything else like that. If you go to Easy's first round, he made a cardinal mistake that a lot of people make. As a former artist, we both are. Sometimes you can reveal too much without clarity. So if you tell me in detail, if you heard a nigga did something to me and he ain't dead, it's probably because I still got the female.
Yeah.
You pretty much just verified every fucking thing.
He looked at Remy Ma, was like, should I tell him? She was like, tell him.
So,
okay.
My whole thing on it was like you alluded to, that third round was fucking surgical.
It was beautiful.
But you can't say something like that and then spend the next round and a half disputing the said fact that you just made fact. Like, whew. It's hard. It's a cold world, man. It's cold. It's fall.
Knocked out and stood over like a step stool.
Lord, yo.
The nigga hit him with the, hey, Papoose. Yeah, that's how you talk to your bitch.
Lord.
So the beautiful part of the third round was this. Though it wasn't lyrically anything that I'll be on some shit like wordplay, oh my God. Punchlines, oh my God. Metaphors, double entendres, oh my God. It wasn't none of that. The shit was all worthwhile to me by the look on Remy Ma's face. She looked like a little girl that was getting talked to by her father. Like, oh shit. Like, yeah.
You ever hear some shit that's like,
what can I say?
It's so real, like, I don't really have a response.
I really don't got shit to say.
I can't.
Like, you talking to a female that know they fucked up and you giving them all the details, you be on some shit like, all she gonna do is sit there and look stupid as hell. Like, oh yeah, well, I know.
First off, the way he started.
But I love him.
The way he started off was insane. Like, yo, the nerve of a motherfucker to fuck with somebody that can't defend them. Like, God damn.
You start fucking with a nigga that can't protect you?
Like,
that was your first mistake. You should have fucked with me. I would have kept my mouth closed.
Like, yeah, that's wild. Yeah. But.
That's crazy.
That's getting a whole lot of circulation. Tasha K vampire ass, of course.
I said we wasn't gonna mention that name on here, but yeah, okay.
Latched on to that and ran with it to the fucking heavens yesterday and shit.
I feel bad for Pap today.
You know what?
I feel bad for Pap today.
Not today. I felt a certain type of way for a while because as a man, we've all been in a situation where something has happened, right?
Yeah.
So to not come out and say nothing, that in itself is its own struggle. But to not have anybody else say anything to confirm or deny, you're kind of like on an island by yourself. And it's kind of like you start taking inventory of like, all right, I have to get out of this us mentality now. So now what do I do? How do I move? And that's
the part that I feel bad for Papoose.
Yeah.
Because what are your options, bro? Your options is to hurt and self-isolate.
Yeah.
Find a way to repair yourself and move on with your life. Or you hurt and retaliate, and then now you got to deal with the consequences. And then that's the problem I got with a lot of these females, yo. Is that they'll have situations like this where they'll do some shit that's so fucking tacky that you as a man is affected to the point where it's like, yo, you really backing me into a corner where it's like I can only want to do one or two things. I can either look like a bitch or I can look like a nigga that's about to get locked up for murder, assault, and battery or some shit like that.
Or something, yeah.
It's like, yo, you put a motherfucker in precarious situations because you in your feelings. And you could easily bring more clarity to the situations if you stepped out of your feelings. It was just being honest. Like, really, the dude worked for you. Like, he's like an employee for real. Like, he's a battle rapper in your league. Mm-hmm. And you trying to tell me, like, you gonna fuck with a motherfucker that's so close to your business, have the shit get out, and you just gonna be sitting there looking stupid and then be like, oh, I'm just gonna see how this shit gonna play out. We'll see what happens. Like, don't you know how motherfuckers die? That's how I always go back to that whole line of like, yo, most of the motherfuckers that's in jail for like violent crimes, it really be around a female. Cause y'all motherfuckers have no idea, or y'all really don't have no care for like the consequences of shit. Like shit, y'all really be turning shit into a life and death situation and then go run in the house. I don't know why that happened. Man, shut up.
You out here talking now.
No, I'm being for real though.
I know.
I'm being for real though. Like, it's really sad, like, to see a motherfucker like who we look at in Remy Ma, and that we really said as rap fans or people who follow like quote unquote street credibility as far as motherfuckers who be talking certain shit on their records. Mm-hmm. We looked at Remy Ma like, yo, that's a real bitch right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at her up on stage while Geechee was talking in her ear like,
crazy.
Who the fuck is this little girl right here?
Crazy.
Who is it? Bro, my head turned to the side like this, Jay. Who is this little girl, dog? That shit bothered me so much, man. And I shout out to Geechee because it's sort of like, yo, sometimes you got to give a motherfucker a talk, and it's probably going to come from a person that ain't related to you, ain't your friend, and it's like, yo, on some standing on your own too, right for right, wrong for wrong, you look stupid out here. And I'm about to tell everybody.
Yeah,
I like the fact that he did that in front of everybody. That was cool.
Sound crazy.
But anywho, let's get into the crux of the show, man.
Let's do it.
So Drake and SZA dropped a record, Slime You Out. First collab that we got from Drake and SZA officially. We got to throw out there that SZA and Drake once upon a time actually dated each other.
They did.
Back in 2009. Mm-hmm. I don't know if any of you listening to the show that have listened to the record, like we told y'all to at the top of the show, want to listen to the record, break down the lyrics and see if there's any kind of reading into lyrics as far as their relationship is concerned. But I mean, that's a long time ago. People grow, people change, people evolve. Like this, let's just get into it. But anywho, the record, when I first listened to it, I was like, oh, that's a good record.
Okay.
I listen to my music through Apple Music. And usually when I listen to a record the first time, I listen to an artist I really fuck with, like maybe Kendrick or Ab Soul or Boogie or something like that, Westside Boogie. I don't listen with the lyrics on. I usually reserve that for the second or third go around. When I threw the lyrics on and listened to it for real, I paused the record. Maybe about 45 seconds in, and I was in the crib, and I'm like, oh, nah, I'm about to throw this on the TV. I threw the record on the TV, and I let the lyrics go on the TV as it scrolled and shit like that. I say, yo, so many of these lyrics is either relatable or triggering as fuck to me.
Yeah.
And I feel like I would be a responsible host of Mono Matters if we didn't touch this fucking song.
Absolutely.
Season 3, episode 1.
Let's get into it.
And then you gave me the confirmation when we was in the park. I was like, oh, shit.
I sure as fuck did. And you know what? Because I know how you feel about said artists, and I know what the song content was about, and I know how it made me feel. I'm going to give you the honor to go first. Cause,
full disclosure,
bruh,
I am not the biggest Drake fan.
Not at all.
I don't know Drake personally. I never met the man as far as I know. I used to work at the airport. I never seen him come through or whatever like that. So I don't know of him. I don't know any of his people. I don't know anybody that vouch for him or hate him or nothing like that.
Nope.
I don't know SZA at all. I've had some conversations with her online back in the day before she was SZA. But other than that, I don't know her. I know she's from Jersey, Maplewood.
Jersey.
Shout out to her.
Yes, sir.
Or whatever. But she's obviously from a artist and also a physical appearance woman. She's not the same woman she was 10 years ago. 12 years ago. Okay. But anywho, they're coming out with this record, Slime You Out. It showed my age originally because I had to Google what the fuck does that mean. I don't know about you. Maybe you in the loop a little bit more than me, but I had no idea what the slime somebody out meant. When I Googled it, I saw that sliming somebody out meant pretty much like to disrespect them, shit on them, use them, do them dirty or whatever like that. Like pretty much fuck you, but you still around though. Mm-hmm. So I said, okay. As I listen to these lyrics, I can see how that might be.
How that might play.
Like I said, in interest of full transparency, I'm not a big fan of Drake's as the man, but you can't deny the fact that this man has some hit records. A lot of records of which I like, but I would go and say 100% that I don't enjoy the majority of his R&B records in the past, or records where he's primarily singing.
So all right, so let's get some context.
Yes.
You didn't like Marvin's Room.
Love Marvin's Room.
Okay.
Like I said, most of his records that were singing based, like singing primarily, I didn't like. Marvin's Room was an exception.
Were most of his songs that he was singing, did they come from the album Views?
Couldn't stand the majority of that album.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that
right.
counts.
I'm just making sure. All right, we're good. Go
that
ahead.
counts.
Keep rolling.
But yes, I love this record. Like I really love this record.
Man.
I love this record, one, because it's just a good ass record. But two, it's like when motherfuckers say they listen to Drake and they go like, I really can resonate with what he say. I can see how this might be one of them. So I would say Drake did his thing. SZA did her thing. They both showed up, showed out. The production was fantastic. I believe this record was produced by the up and coming producer named Binks in concert with 40 from OVO. Really well done. Now we got to do our job as analysts here on the Mono Matters podcast and break down these goddamn lyrics because there's some shit to talk about. And I think of some things that we can take from the lyrics of this song that we could take into our real life and have some real world relationship advice out there. Those of you who haven't heard the song, play it again. We'll give you one last chance to pause it, listen to it, and come back out. Nov.
Yo.
N-O-V.
Yo.
The record starts off with Aubrey Graham speaking, not rapping, the following. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with you girls. I feel like y'all don't need love. You need somebody who can micromanage you. You know what I'm saying? Tell you right from wrong, who's smart from who's the fool, which utensil to use for which food. Like, I got a schedule to attend to, though. I can't relate. 6. Yeah. As I look back on some of my relationships and realize, like, what I deemed love and interest was actually just an educational tutorial for the lady that I was dating. Man, I tell you, bro. Like, you take a motherfucker to a restaurant they never been to, or you take a motherfucker to a museum, or y'all go to a art show or a spoken word or a paint and sip, or y'all go to like a culinary class or something like that, and they having a good time and they like literally like falling in love with you, and you kind of like on some shit like, yo, this shit is nice, like we really bonding. Mm-hmm. It's like, this motherfucker is like off their dock. They're away from home. Yeah. They're soaking all this shit in because it's like everything is like new and novelty, and you really think it's like, oh, we building a connection. It's like, it really ain't, man. You think it's love. Like he said, like, I'm really convinced y'all don't need love. Y'all need somebody who can micromanage you. That line hit me so hard when I first heard it, because I'm like, yo, a lot of females out here don't really be looking for love. They be looking for experiences.
Oh, man.
And this shit just hit me like, oh, shit. If I go through a lot of my relationships, all the checkpoints that make a motherfucker think like, oh, shit was going good was like, oh, her experiencing something new that I introduced her to. Oh, my God, what's that? How you pronounce that? When did that happen? What's this place? How should I dress? It's like, God damn. Did I confuse our love for me just being in the role of a teacher, you a student, and me just teaching you something and me feeling good about it? That shit landed on me hard, dog.
Well, I'm trying to pace myself. You know, it's the beginning.
So.
It's a
beginning. We got a lot more lyrics to go through.
It's a beginning of a new season. You know, I've heard the feedback. You know if you sound such and such. Know if you sound such and such. You know, be a little bit more understanding such and such. Right, man. The opening sequence, man, at this point had me in the point where I paused the record. I stared at my nice little audio setup in my new little car, you know, with the 5% all the way around. And I really, like, in that moment, put the hoodie up that Kermit has. And I was just like, man, you know how many times I've been in a situation or you show somebody something new and you think it's a bonding experience and really it's just like play school or teaching lessons. Like,
yeah,
man, I was just like, oh my God. Like that micromanage part.
Yeah.
That part especially, like, you hear a lot of, you know, show me something, teach me something, you know, take me out, do this, do that. It's like, yeah, but no, what the fuck? What experience am I getting out of this?
Right.
And it's really hitting because I feel like that was just a precursor, because the next couple of lyrics after that.
I don't want to go off that lyrics first, though. I want to go off that intro first.
Man.
Let me say one thing before we move on.
Go ahead.
You know that what he's saying is true, and what we are kind of echoing is also true. If you ask any female that's in a long-term relationship, most females will probably say the best time of your relationship was in the beginning.
Absolutely.
And I believe it's the novelty, the newness, and also the learning of it for them.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
Everything is new. It's a new car smell.
Because we learning about you too.
Yeah.
But usually it's the man in the position of offering you new experiences or introducing you to things that you never heard before or never seen before.
Majority
of the time.
I will say I have been personally in a relationship where somebody introduced me to certain things.
How did that make you feel?
Person to person, it made me feel great. It was awesome. It was like another gauge being unlocked. As a man, though, I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah, I bet it was weird.
Really, really weird. Only because it was just like this doesn't feel like it. I've always said this, and I don't mean to sound a certain type of way, but it's going to come off a certain type of way. If you have a problem, email me, message me, whatever the case may be. I have found that when it comes to teachable or teaching things, teaching points, or introduction to certain things, I feel like women would much rather be introduced to something than introduce somebody to something. I feel like it would much rather be teach me than me teach you.
Yeah.
And sometimes it comes off as, I feel like we express a little bit more patience and we have a little bit more honest depth. Whereas if I'm teaching you something, right? I'm teaching you for edification, education, and experience and your overall progression. Whereas if I'm being taught something by a woman, I feel like it's self-gain, self-pleasure. This is what I need you to do. I don't care what you do after me. I need you to do this. And it's just like, it reads a certain way and it feels a certain way. Personally.
Yeah, I would agree with that because I feel like a lot of women will put a lot of stock in being with a man or being in a man's presence when he's able to offer her new experiences, offer her new insights, offer her new education. And when you talking about being with a woman for a long period of time, if you with them from a long enough time, the amount of things that you can teach them starts to dwindle. And that's really because of like two parts, really. One, because I'm around your ass every day. So a lot of times when I'm learning new stuff, you're learning like real time with me. So it's not like something I could like introduce you to. It's like we both got introduced to this shit at the same time. But I think the other thing is, and this might be the most controversial part of the whole shit.
Let's go.
So y'all females, y'all correct us, DM us at Instagram, whatever.
Please do.
At Mannn No Matters Instagram. I think every nigga out there would agree with this statement right here. The time period in which you would get a female to listen to you is no bigger window for them to be listening except for in the beginning. When you first start dating a female, them motherfuckers be all ears. They be like, what? Oh, that's so interesting. That's new. Oh, show me that. I want to go there. That sounds cool. When your ass 5 years in, it's like you got to prove the shit to them. Like, oh, yeah, that sounds nice. Prove it. What is it? Oh, that steakhouse you talking about? That shit nice? Where the reviews at? When your ass dating you 5 days in, it's like, oh, shit, I'm open to anything. You say that shit, let's go there. Let's do that. Them motherfuckers are like, females early on in the dating process be so impressionable because they caught up in this whirlwind of newness where it's sort of like, yo, you could do any old new thing and you could get my attention. I'm not saying I'm going to be impressed, but like, you want to take me to this new spot? All right, I'll go. Yo, I try that shit with like a motherfucker that you like in the shit like 5+ years in. It's on some shit like, oh, I need to see the Instagram page first. What the Google review say?
You want to know what that is though? Like leading into our, the bigger topic of, why do men and women overvalue or feel like they put themselves in a spectrum that, they can't be replaced. In the beginning, the world is full of possibilities.
Yeah.
It's possibilities. It's endless, imaginable things. And it's, you might be catching somebody that hasn't run into somebody that does this and what might seem normal.
Yeah.
But the difference between 5 days and 5 years is possibility then gets replaced by expectation.
Right.
Which is, all right, you've shown me this. What else you got?
Right.
It's almost like...
You set a new bar.
Bars. It's almost like... This probably has to be the most underrated thing in the world. But I thought about it, and when you really think about it, it's amazing. You know how hard it is to entertain children for a long period of time?
I do know.
With their fleeting and so easily distracted attention span. Like, you take a clown at a kid's party. If you book this clown for 3 hours and he manages to keep every kid engaged and excited for 3 hours straight,
you're going to get a tip.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great. He's great. And I feel like relationships run along that course. It's easy to, and this is where a lot of people say, in the beginning, you got to pay attention to stuff because you can see everything right in front of you. Whether or not you want to pick it up or not is a different story. Mm-hmm. In the beginning, it's possibilities, it's rainbows, it's the relationship bubble, which is the worst shit in the world, where you lock yourself away in your little cubby hole and you nurture it and you prepare it for the world. And you're just, that's when you tell your friends like, oh yeah, I'm dealing with somebody, you keep your shit under wraps. I'm happy, this, that, and the third. Mm-hmm. And then you expose that bubble. Yeah. And the real shit happened. And it's like, oh, word. Okay. So yeah, the possibility stage is always a learn. And it happens for men and women. We're not going to sit here and come off like, oh yeah, these niggas out here bad. No, we do it too.
For sure.
I am very guilty of that. I am very guilty of, unfortunately, being a sapiosexual and being attracted to intellectual conversation and getting in a whirlwind of back and forth dialogue and intellect that makes you feel like, yeah, this could be the person. And then the real motherfucker appears. And it's like, oh, that 30-day trial period is over.
Yeah.
All right.
You ain't said nothing interesting in weeks.
Cool. Can I get into the next part of these lyrics, though?
I was going to say how you want to do it. Do you just want to go down the lyrics and stop whenever we find something that hit?
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, so we get through the intro, and then we get into the first verse where Drake sings his heart out and says,
"You bitches really be
carried away, making mistakes, then you beg me to stay."
Come on, man.
Is that the first one that resonated with you? Because it don't hit nothing with me.
Yo, man, listen. It's really like a motherfucker will do something, expect you to fix their problem, while you're being told you're the problem. It's like, if we're playing off of what we just said today, right? Infidelity, whatever, right? You'll step out and say, fuck that. I'm this, that, third. I deserve this, that, and the third. Go out, because people have this tendency to believe that the grass is always greener on the other side, but sometimes the grass isn't watered. It just looks different. Yeah. So you go out and you do this, you make the mistake, you come back, and then it's like, oh, I only did this because of this, that, and the third. Don't you feel this, that, and the third? Like, no, I don't feel responsible for cleaning up an act that you totally took for yourself. This shit here, when he sung this shit, once again, I'm in the car. 5% tense, I'm able to make whatever fucking face I want because it's private. He said that, I paused, I pressed my little fucking, what's the name? I stopped, I looked, I was like, yo, You are not about to sit up here and do this shit. You ain't about to sit up here and do this shit. Like, nah, we not. I immediately ran it back, and I was just like, man, listen, yo.
There's a part of the lyric where it says, making mistakes, then you beg me to stay, resonate with you?
A little bit, only because...
Has anybody ever begged you to stay?
Begged once. No, twice. But it's always been like, perfect example. Something will happen, right? Let's say a situation happens, you go your separate ways, whatever the case may be. You decide to go your separate ways, whatever the case may be. They will hold you mentally and emotionally responsible for the actions you took and disavow any knowledge of anything they had to do with that.
Yeah.
So basically, it's like emotional sabotage. Like, don't you feel like if you would have just done this, things would have been better? Like, probably, potentially. But you're forgetting the whole part of the role you played. Well, I'm not talking about that. Excuse me?
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
How do you talk about one without the other? So yeah, that definitely played a little bit for me. But as we digress, that didn't resonate.
Yeah, I think that beg me to stay part. I mean, it go both ways though. So I'm not just gonna put it on females. I don't want to get into that part of it. I think like the safety of security is a big factor when you talk about serious relationships, and like whenever you get into a point where, well, he said in the lyrics, making mistakes. Whenever you make bad choices that could end your relationships or end your relationship that you in, you think to yourself like, I really fucked up. My consequences is that I will be alone because of that mistake. Yeah. Being alone is such a daunting outlook on my life right now that I would be willing to beg this person to stay. Like, yo, please do not leave me by myself. Why? Because I made a mistake so bad that, like, yo, I will lose you, I will lose them, I will lose everything. My way of life and all that shit. And it's like, I'm willing to get down on my knees and actually beg you to stay. And my question to that person would be on some shit like, yo, you trying to tell me that you ain't think about none of this shit when you was in the act of doing whatever it is the mistake or choice was? Like, come on, man. Like, you got to have some kind of wherewithal about yourself to be on some shit like, this shit could cost me everything. And I'm still going to fucking do it. Mm-hmm. Like motherfuckers really got to get their shit together and think about, like, yo, how's this choice right now that I'm about to make consequentially going to affect my life going forward, and is it worth it?
It's that risk reward thing that, we alluded to earlier.
But the reward is never worthwhile enough to be on some shit like, you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. Because when you talk about mistakes, and I'm guessing in the mistakes that we generally think about when it comes to relationships is like cheating or some shit.
Cheating, undervaluing.
Like, really, you getting some pussy, dog.
Yeah, something like that.
Really, you getting some pussy tonight.
Yeah.
Really, you getting some dick. Mm-hmm. Because if the mistake was like, I'm about to make a mistake and like leave my wife or leave my husband, you wouldn't just cheat. You would cheat and also leave the person that you was with. So now you just being selfish and being on some shit like, yo, I want to hold on to what I got until I figure out what the fuck I want to do in the future. That's the part that's like, why are you fucking holding me hostage for your shit?
You want to know what I learned? Being in my little sabbatical, my little cubby hole.
L'chaim.
It takes a special skill to understand that what you deem as selfish, somebody else might deem as necessary. Meaning, there's always two views to a relationship, and they're always very different. The person that did the deed felt like they've reached the conclusion where this is all they have left to do. Right or wrong, they've lived with those consequences. The person on the other side sees betrayal and seems you couldn't do it another way, this, that, and the third. Never is it really taken into consideration or really brought into context of these factors that could have been played by either side might have changed something. grass is always greener on the other side, as we stated before, or how it appears to be. So if somebody's in a situation where they feel like, oh, I have to do this, I'm not condoning the act at all. Cheating to me is a cowardice act. Have I done it in my lifetime? Absolutely. Have I had it done? Absolutely. Bottom line, at the end of the day, I view it as that person made the best decision they felt possible. Whether it is or not, time will tell.
Man, no, bro. You no.
You don't want to do that?
No, you're talking crazy right now. I gotta check you on that. A motherfucker ain't make the decision to do what was best for them in a moment of what was going on.
I feel like they did, and here's why.
What was best for them?
I feel like they did. Once again, this is not me condoning.
Yes.
This is me understanding how people think.
Uh-huh.
At the moment, they did what was most self-serving and easy for them. Now, if we're talking about in the span and the context of the relationship, absolutely not. You're a scumbag. I get that part. But people will usually take the route without less resistance.
They take the path of least resistance.
Yeah, to get what they want. So if that path is, all right, I can go through these weeds, get cut the fuck up, and probably end up with the same result. Or I can go this way, minimal risk, outcome might be the same, but I spare myself a little bit of this. They're going to go that way. Selfish as it may seem, I get it. Do I condone it? No. But I get it. Because half of the relationship is understanding, like, I don't have to understand every decision you make. As long as I understand the rationale behind it. Like, I would much rather come to the point of, that was a selfish decision, I get why you made it, than to be completely like, yo, what the fuck were you thinking?
That's the part that I disagree with you. When you say like the best thing for me is like, nah. Cause as somebody who has cheated and also been cheated on, let's not front like it's not a double standard in two different dynamics when a man cheats and then when a woman cheats. All right. Usually when a man cheats, he led a situation a certain place, and then whatever happened. Mm-hmm. Usually when a female cheats, a man led the shit somewhere, and whatever happened. Either way, how you slice it, even if you disagree with that dynamic, at some point in time, before it even gets to the point of actually cheating, you had to have made a decision in your mind that this could be a possibility if I continue going down this road. Right? And you had to have made a justification in your brain like, I don't give a fuck about the consequences of this moment right here that's in front of me. Even if it ain't right in front of me in the next 5 minutes, it's impending within the next couple of days, next couple of hours, next couple of weeks, next couple of months. I found myself in this person's apartment. Mm-hmm. I should not be here. Mm-hmm. But you know what? Fuck it, I'm here. And I'm going to do what I feel like is best for me right now. Yeah. And what's best for me is for this chick to suck my dick. Bro, no. You know what's best for you is to figure out what the fuck is going wrong in your relationship or in your marriage and fix that shit. And if you can't fix that shit, you need to leave that person. That's what's best for you. But what you're doing is you're being selfish. And you don't want to do all that work, like you said, sifting through the weeds. Yeah. And you're saying, you know what? Fuck it. I'm about to do this shit on the side, keep this shit a secret, and then go live my life and figure out what the fuck is going on going forward. You ain't doing what's best for you.
But I feel like you're
doing what's most soothing for you.
I feel like you're intertwining the two. I feel like you're intertwining the two in this context. We know what the best course of action for the overall relationship and the morality would be.
Yeah.
We absolutely know that to be fact. When you're faced with one decision or the other, cheat or fix your relationship.
Right.
98% of the population, your friends, your family, everybody's going to tell you to fix the relationship. Because that's the right thing to do. What I'm saying is, there have been plenty of times where people have known the right thing to do.
Yeah.
What the absolute right thing to do. Selfishly have made the choice of, no, this is what I need. Those two are not the same.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to explain. Those two are not the same. What is best for the situation does not necessarily mean what's best for you. That's
hold on. Bye. Stay right here, right quick.
All right, let's stay here.
But you're saying that there are situations where a person thinks in their brain, what's best for me right now is to cheat.
Yeah. Yes. Because
hold on. So, if we talking about somebody who might be, let's take that ideology and put it on anything else in life. Mm-hmm. Right? I only got $500 in my account right now. And I'm fucking struggling with the fact that I don't have no financial freedom in my life. Mm-hmm. And I need some retail therapy. Mm-hmm. And I see these $400 pair of sneakers that I want to buy, these J's that I want to get. Mm-hmm. I don't want to buy these Concords or some shit off StockX or whatever the fuck it is. Mm-hmm. I know that buying these sneakers will make me feel better.
Yeah.
You're saying that somebody in their right mind would say, what's best for me right now is to go ahead and buy these sneakers and worry about everything else when I get paid the next time.
People do that all the time. I don't know.
People do all that all the time. But are you making a decision that's best for you, or are you saying that it's the best thing for you to do for yourself in this moment?
You're going with what feels best for you and what makes you feel good. Similar to people that take extravagant or exorbitant amount of vacations but don't have the sick time.
All right, let me ask you a different question. Do you think a person that was thinking straight would say that this is the best thing for me? Let me ask you a better question.
Yes,
if
please.
you were somebody that loved that person. And you No. If you were somebody that loved that person and you say like, yo, what's the best thing I should do right now? Do you think that they would give you that advice?
No,
Cheat.
I wouldn't.
Buy
I
sneakers.
wouldn't. I would. No, I wouldn't. But this is where, like I said, I've learned to cut that line, because what I might feel best for you, I can give you whatever. All right, perfect example. I give you whatever advice in the world. The equation would be this, and it's simple. People hate the gym, want to lose weight.
Yes.
So they do certain things in order to lose weight. What I'm telling you is there is nobody walking this earth that if you gave them the option of, yo, you can eat whatever you want, you wouldn't gain weight, they would not take it.
Yeah, they would take it.
So what I'm trying to say is, if you're putting somebody in a situation where, yo, I'm going to force you to go left or right, the majority of people are going to go left, just based upon the way that shit works and the way that people are.
All right.
That's what I'm trying to say. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not condoning it. But I'm saying
about condoning it. I see what you're saying. But what we talking about are two separate things, bro. What you're saying is, what I'm saying is, a person is not doing what's best for them.
Okay.
What you're saying is a person is doing what's best for them, but you're masking it by the fact that a person is just doing what they need at the moment. That's not what's best for you. There's a difference between what's best for you,
or what you want. All right.
And what you want to do.
I got you.
And what you need to do right now.
I got you there. I got you there.
I'm fucking lonely,
but
I need some fellatio.
But all right. So I ask you this question.
Boom.
I ask you this question. The reason I say what's best for them, and I'm not trying to overly exorbitant or break it down, is the outside world is going to expressly tell you, nah, that's not the way you want to do that.
Right.
But does the outside world truly know what's best for you? For you. Now, like I said before, it's selfish. It's selfish. Self-preservation at a situation like this, very selfish.
High. Yeah, very high.
But what I'm saying is, I am no longer in the position to be judge, jury, and executioner when it comes to that. Because I don't live in that realm. I don't live in your skin. I don't live your day to day. Now, Is it implorable? Would I encourage it? No. But that's not for me to do. You do what you want to do.
Right.
But live with those consequences when they happen.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
I think we came to a good understanding of what we both talking about. And it's just a difference in the basic human needs and shit. And how certain people got different hierarchy of how they place
Absolutely
certain things and shit like that. All
like
right?
when you get to that situation, I understand that.
Yeah.
All right.
Even in the fact, right quick, of like somebody might put their own sexual burdens more high up on a list of basic needs than
exactly.
else.
If we're reading in the love languages, somebody has physical touch a little bit higher than like words of affirmation or something like that.
Yeah, what's best for me not to lose my mind right now is to do
exactly.
this.
And that's where people get into their vices and everything else.
Still stupid. Anyway, let's run down the list and we'll stop at the next thing that resonates with either one of us.
All right, what you got?
So,
what hit you a certain way? That's
we're gonna keep going now.
All right.
So the next lyrics go, got me wigging on you like I'm arrogant Tay, who's a Chicago hairstylist. You got my mind in a terrible place, whipped and chained you like American slaves. Act like you not used to Sheraton stays. I met the nigga you thought could replace. Let's put a pause there.
I guess this resonated.
Woo.
This stirred.
Man, you know that old saying a motherfucker say, like, the grass ain't green on the other side, it's greener when you water it? Man, this is true on both sides, man.
Have you ever met? All right, so let me ask you. All right, so now let's dig a little bit, because I myself have been through this a couple of times, but I've also, been the
replacee.
Yeah, here. So, how do you react to something like that? Like, upon initial, men do their own thing, and I can't speak to the psyche of women, even though I do have a best friend and I do have a couple of women that I do talk to, and I do know how the process and the psyche and the breakdown and everything and the evaluations and everything goes. Yeah. I've been down this road quite a few times. But what exactly are you looking at first? Me, myself, I've made peace with myself. I might not be the most handsome nigga in the world. I'm pretty hot up. I'm okay with that.
You up there somewhere?
Yeah.
You up there somewhere below me though. But yeah.
Don't start your shit. See, all right, whatever. That's cool. But it's one of those days where it's like I feel like in order to replace me, and this is digging into our overvaluing and our analyzing of where we stand sometimes.
Yeah.
I feel like there's so much shit, like, bro, like him? Like, yo, come on, yo, like, stop. Like, yo, stop.
Yeah, but it's weird though. It's like, I've been on both sides of the fence. I think you was kind of trying to allude to that too.
Yeah.
I've been on both sides of the fence where I felt like somebody felt they found somebody that could replace me, but they weren't thinking about like all the places I fit into you. You get what I mean? So it's sort of like, oh, like this person is going to take over all the roles that I fill for you.
See, I feel like,
or are they only going to fill certain holes for you?
And see, this
you get what I mean?
I hear you, but
hold on. Let me say that again. Are they going to fill all the holes for you, or are they going to fill only certain holes for you?
See, but this is, and I feel you, and it resonates. But this is where I feel like the first step of that overvaluing takes place, because, as you've said quite a bit of times to me on private, your history is your history.
Yeah,
your rap sheet is your rap sheet. And what you feel you might bring or provide is only measured by what you have or what you currently are. And similar to what we were saying before, the first 5 days, possibilities are endless. Everything is abound. Everything is attainable compared to 5 years where I know exactly what the fuck it is.
Yeah.
So what we might deem as, there's no way you can find somebody to do this. You ain't even think of this. You ain't even think of this. You ain't even think of this. Somebody else could look at like, no, I can. I have. Now, how from an ego standpoint, how do you react to the possibility that you might be replaced by somebody you deem inferior?
As my ego would take a hold of me, I would think to myself, like, you're not going to find somebody better than me. That's where my ego going to go.
Yeah.
But you know me better than probably anybody on the face of the planet. You know that I probably operate more in the realm of logic than I do ego.
Yeah.
So my logical side would take over my brain of like, I'm a real big like loyalty motherfucker.
Yeah.
And I'm real big on like doing what I say I'm gonna do. I would ask myself this question. Okay, let's put egos to the side. Let me ask this question right now. If you was going to war with somebody or something or some army for your life, you could take the soldier that you with, or I could give you a random motherfucker that's unproven. Which one do you want? For your life. You can take what you know, or you can take potential. What would you take for the rest of your life?
I'm going to play so big a devil's advocate real quick.
Before you play devil's advocate, answer the question. If you was in a fight for your life, you got two choices. You can take one person you know or one random person that is unproven.
I would take the person that I know. The other side to that coin where I play devil's advocate is if I had a choice of going to war with the person that I'm with or being with somebody that helps me avoid the war completely, what am I choosing?
What the fuck is that?
Meaning,
who the hell even brought that up?
Meaning like this, right? Like, I feel like we think of things very unilaterally, like straight line, like not really being able to see, more or less looking at it like this. If we're in a situation, we're in a foxhole, I've been down for you the whole time. And we're just counting about straight line shit. Like, I'm never going nowhere. I'm never going to falter. I'm never going to fall. Nothing like that. But this is also me looking at the history of us and saying there are probably some things that probably could have been done to prevent the war in the first place. There are probably some things that we probably wouldn't be in this position in the first place. There are some struggles and maybe some hurdles that we've run into that we are in war and in step with that maybe we didn't need to be in step with.
Yeah.
So then it becomes, I know who my ride or die is. I know who my general is. I know who my foxhole person is.
Right.
But then it comes down to, is there a better way to win this quote unquote war? Or does it have to be war? Or is this just what I've grown accustomed to? And that's where the overvaluing of shit comes into play, because we're forcing ourselves sometimes to get on our shit where it's like, I know you, and I know loyalty plays a big part. I know honesty plays a big part. I know communication plays a big part. And I know a lot of the, like you said, when you're in a foxhole with somebody and going into that best friend role, you've been through ups and downs, trials and tribulations and everything. Mm-hmm. Now, what if I gave you the option of, I know what your experiences are. I know you've gone through hell and you've been battered and bruised. But what if there was a way to keep going and not have to go through any of that? Then what happens? And then it changes. Because now you're looking at things from I know who my foxhole person is, but is it possible we could have avoided these mines and these tripwires and this insurgency going a different way.
You know what's funny about that though? Cause I see what you're going, and you make a very valid point. And I see where you're going with that. And as you walk down that path, I'm kind of like, I see what the fuck you're saying. Here's where you lose me. As far as what I've experienced in my relationships past, being on both sides of the fence. You know what's funny about your position?
Plain advocacy, for the record.
I feel you. I feel you.
All right.
So I'm only going against your argument, not you.
I got you.
When you talk about that, I can stay in the foxhole with the motherfucking soldier that I know, that when I look into their eyes and they got the rifle, I'm like, all right, when we go over this fucking hill, I know what type of time you on and shit.
Yeah.
Or I can find a way to say, you know what? We never needed to be in this foxhole to begin with. And we're fucking here and shit. What's funny about that theory is usually when you're that person that's choosing between who to be in the foxhole with or who to go to war with, it's never the third option of just being by yourself. There is a way there's a way to avoid this war all alone.
Ooh.
There's a way to avoid this whole fucking insurgency.
Yes.
Be alone.
Yeah.
The question only comes when there's another option that pops up. Why is that?
Absolutely
though?
right. Because
Why motherfuckers can't be on some shit like, you know what? This shit ain't working out. I don't know if I could go to war with you, man. I'm just about to be single. It only happens when it's like, oh, this person is showing me some quote unquote signs that I could be, I could have a better soldier and shit like that.
That's exactly how it happens.
So when it happens, no, all right, that's what I'm saying. When it happens, now you're picking between an unproven resource and a proven resource.
Yeah, something you already know.
It ain't never the third option to be on some shit like, you know what, I just need to be alone.
I just need to chill. Take some time for myself.
Miss me with that shit. Shut up.
I hear you. All right, so my argument would be this. Before we move on, right? To argue that point, it's the overall fundamental thing of, I don't feel like we were designed to be alone. I don't feel like we were designed to walk through this thing called life alone. And I feel like even when, if you wanted to relate it to something as simple as this, you know, we've made so many comparisons to movies and whatnot and everything else, right? Mm-hmm. One of the most commonly debated things is there was room on that door for Jack and Rose in Titanic. Why didn't she let him on? Or why didn't Jack jump up?
I kind of heard that. I don't know if that could have supported both of them, but whatever. Go ahead. What's your point?
So Jack made the choice to keep Rose alive.
Yeah.
If we're thinking in hypotheticals, I'm pretty sure if that boat came along, Jack and Rose might have survived.
Yeah.
Right? The question you're asking is, if there was a chance for us to avoid that, and you're asking me, why don't I move along? Because even at that time of knowing one of them is going to make it, one of them isn't, they fought as hard as they could to stay together as long as they could.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to walk alone. But if you're forcing me to make a choice, if I'm making an option, then I'm going to go with the one that appears to be the most peaceful. As we've debated in the past, all men want is peace. All we want is understanding.
But let me ask a question. When you talk about alone, you're talking about romantically. Because you're not talking about like family, friends, support system and shit like that.
I feel, well.
Because, I mean, you could be single and have like a great family and great friend structure and you'll never feel alone ever. So what you talking about?
You could get a dog. I mean.
You get a cat. You get 100 cats.
I hear you. But I feel like if we're looking at it and we're being completely honest with ourselves, I feel like your support system is your support system. And of course it will help you. It will guide you. It will hold you. It will hold you accountable. It'll make sure you're good.
Yeah.
But there's only so far that support system goes.
Companionship rules all.
Yeah.
So let me ask a bigger question, which is a major question for today's podcast. If you made it this far in the episode, man, please like, subscribe, share.
Please.
Tap in on the DM, share the show when the episode comes out. If you about that life. Big question right now for our listeners and the topic for discussion for me and Nove. If you're in a relationship with somebody and they get to a point in a relationship where they find you replaceable, is the relationship over?
That's a question you got for me?
At least as far as you know it.
You got me? You giving it to me?
It's a question. It's a question for the show.
All right, I'm just making sure. All right, I say, and we've had enough conversation off the air to, go through this and whatever. But I've always stood on this. There are certain things in a relationship that can be salvaged.
Yeah.
There are certain things you fight for. There are certain things that you can mend. I feel like when a person deems you replaceable, or when a person acts in the realm of having other options, or even taking it as far as entertaining other options, I'm going to say I don't feel personally that is a complete wrap. Here's why I say this. Everybody feels like they have options. Even the person that doesn't have many options feels like they have options. My job is not to keep you from your options. My job is not to deter you from your options. But my job is to make you feel like your other options don't exist. What I mean for that is this, and I'm not capping. What I mean is, if I am doing everything humanly possible on my end to keep you happy, to keep you secure, to keep you safe, to keep you entertained, to keep you happy, which, by the way, isn't really my job. By the way, I don't want anybody to misread that. Your partner is not supposed to ensure your happiness. That is your job.
It's impossible.
But if I'm doing all of that and you choose to go out, you've then shown me I have options. Clearly. And here's why.
That's interesting.
Here's why. Because I know there is somebody out there that has seen everything, that knows everything, that has paid attention to how I move, conduct myself, and act, and they want nothing more than for you to fuck up. So if you choose to do that, that's fine. Yeah. That is okay. I'm not going to fight you on it. I don't believe in hostages. I don't believe in keeping something together for the sake of filling the blank. If you are here, you're here because you want to be here. You want to be here. You love me. You want to stay here. Mm. But by no means will I take it as, yeah, there's somebody out there that could, no. You go ahead and you make that, you go ahead and you do that by yourself.
So I would say, I've had people in my family do me dirty in a way that my significant other or romantic partner could never do me that dirty. Mm-hmm. And we still have a relationship as family members. Yeah. So I don't believe in this idea that no relationship is salvageable. Like if both parties really wanted to put in the work, like anything could be salvageable.
Unsalvageable. Yeah. No relationship is unsalvageable.
Yeah, no relationship is unsalvageable. Gotcha. Anything can be salvageable. Mm-hmm. But I would say like you would have to come to terms with the the idea that whatever relationship y'all had before might get destroyed.
Yeah.
And that whatever salvage comes from feeling like a person might feel like they're replaceable. If y'all do fix that, like, y'all got to start a whole fucking new relationship and shit. It's like a factory reset.
Absolutely.
It's like a whole new.
Oh yeah,
it's like a whole new thing.
Yeah, you got to tear everything down.
And if you can't get on board with what the new thing is, it's like, yo, all right, well, I guess we can't. I guess we can't do this shit.
I think the biggest mistake people make sometimes after something goes wrong is
because, bro, like, I don't mean to cut you off.
Nah, that's good. Go ahead.
Like, let's keep it a B. How many times have you been on the opposite side of that shit? I've dealt with women.
Oh man,
fuck that. I've dealt with married women who felt like if only my husband was more like you, or if only my man was like more like you and shit like that. Like,
I've heard that.
I would leave him
for you.
For you.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
And nigga, you be looking at yourself like, yeah,
wow.
Why the fuck would you?
You'd be like, oh,
why the hell would you do that shit? Like,
you be like, what?
The way my bank account's set up. You know what I mean? The way I feel about you, like, my devotion for you isn't like at the level that would even stick through certain things. Like, why would you feel like I'm best for you? And it's all this feeling and in love shit that motherfuckers get caught up in, and it's not real. But I remember specifically dealing with a married chick, and she had so much disdain for her husband, or how she was feeling like, oh man, if he was only like you, or open-minded and communicated and did stuff like you did, like, it'd be perfect. And if you just said yes and gave me the green light, like, I would leave him for you. And I'm like, miss, like, lady, like, you have no idea, like, the power of responsibility and shit.
Yeah.
And like, everything looks good because I know, like, this transaction ends at some point and I don't have to dedicate that much time. I don't have to devote myself to you.
Yeah.
So I only have to give you parts of me and shit. How could you possibly think that you're ready for all of me and that I'm ready for all of you?
The other part of that also is, you know, if I gave you your favorite dish for 5 years straight,
right,
you're going to get tired of your favorite dish.
For sure.
So
I got used to the taste.
Yeah. So that's not saying that's not your favorite dish, but it's saying anything for too long becomes mundane. So everything after that is an experience. It's new. Meaning, like, you know how people like to go off the cuff and, oh, you know, such and such as this, I'm filet mignon. You know, if you eat filet mignon 2.5 years straight, and you get a taste of, let's say, something that's not even near filet mignon. Let's say if you got a taste of McDonald's barbecue rib sandwich.
Limited time only.
It might be intriguing.
Yeah.
This is not saying that it's better. This is more so saying, like, you need to cultivate and come up with innovative ways to make something that you favor not be mundane.
Right.
And that's the trickery in the situation. What other lyrics we got?
All right, so I think we're pretty much done with the Drake lyrics for now until we get to the third verse. But the other lyrics on it before we get to SZA's verse is
SZA had some shit to say.
She had some shit to say that we got to break down right quick. I met the nigga you thought could replace. How were there even comparisons made? Bitch, next time I swear on my grandmother's grave, I'm sliming you for them kid choices you made. Hey, this ain't the illest I could get on you bitches. Send wires on wires on wires like Idris. You lucky that I don't take back what was given. I could have you on payment plan to you 150. I can't do that, so I don't resonate with that.
Yeah, nah.
And my slime right here got some bars for y'all niggas, so I'm gonna fall back and let SZA talk her shit for a minute. And then SZA, Jersey's Own, comes in hard.
Yeah.
Damn, these niggas got me so twisted. How the fuck you so real but play bitch on my line? I can feel what you're spinning. Got too much pride to let no burnt nigga slime me out. Pull up, go right about. My night, got time. Let's discuss all those lies about fronting out here like you digging me out. I ain't even coming. I'm in and out. And you ain't about the shit that you rapping about. And can I spin a hoe? I'm airing it out. I'm going off like a sawed off. You telling these hoes you ain't cuddling, but with me, you know you doing all that shit.
Yeah.
You telling these hoes you ain't tricking off, but with me, you know I'm going to get it all.
Mm-hmm.
How you niggas get so carried away, tripping when that dick is barely third place? And that brings me to the first scissor line that resonated with your boy. We talked about this shit. We talked about this shit outside. We talked about this shit outside in the street.
We did. We was in the streets talking about this.
And it sparked an interesting conversation for the quick, 5 minutes we had before we had to get moving and grooving and shit like that.
Yeah.
But it brought up a good conversation with me inside my brain of, do a lot of us men overinflate our sexual prowess when it comes to what we deliver in the bedroom in the eyes of our females that we land with? And if so, why does that happen? And what can we do about it?
Man.
So the first thing that came to my mind was, yeah. I think we do overinflate ourselves, and I think we give ourselves a little bit too much credit in the bedroom, especially those of us who have been in like long relationships. Like, bro, you've been giving her the same experience,
same pain,
same positions, same everything for a minute
between
now.
1 and 4,
and it's like you expecting like, yo, she ain't complained yet, so that shit must be exciting.
You know, it was the funniest thing I ever saw in my life, and it was funny. Late great Bernie Mac, R.I.P.
Yeah,
when a motherfucker can predict what position you gonna put them in, you have to change something. Meaning, like, if it's about to happen and the get down's about to get down, and you've been with your woman for a while, and she automatically get in a position first because she knows how this goes, you have to change something.
Yeah,
you have to change something.
I would say that.
Like,
I think as men we do get into these situations where in the midst of exploring a woman's body and having sex with one particular woman over and over again, you start figuring out stuff that works.
Yeah.
And once you start figuring out stuff that works, you kind of like want to rely on the things
and you want to stay there
that work. But if you keep relying on the things that work, it kind of gets stagnant after a while.
It gets stale.
So once it gets stale, anything outside of that feels new.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So it could be like the same position y'all been doing, but another nigga.
Yeah.
That feels brand new. It's like, yo, what the fuck y'all was doing? You been doing the same shit with me, but it's like, yeah, but it was at least somewhere else, nigga. Like, what the fuck? So you got to be conscious of that or whatever. So like, what can we do to like spice up certain shit to keep shit fresh, new, different, and engaging? Like,
and here's my question that I posed to you, that I posed to the pod.
Yeah.
What is your definition of intimacy and romance? And do you feel like you've experienced a partner who's been on the same page completely?
That been on the same page with me romantically and intimately?
Mm-hmm.
And intimacy wise? Probably only one that comes to mind in that realm of things, even though like all the stuff outside of that probably wasn't right. But like intimacy and romance wise, I probably run into one person that was like that. But I love the fact that you asked that question, because a lot of times we put those two together, like romance and intimacy is like the same shit.
Yeah, and
but like intimacy is a totally
different
thing and shit like
it's
that.
A completely different box.
So it's like all the shit that leads up to sex. If I'm putting it like in bare taxes and shit like that, all the things outside of sex that bring two people closer together. Mm-hmm. Intimacy. The etymology of the word is into me I see. Like seeing into somebody better every single day. I feel like a lot of motherfuckers get lazy when it comes to that.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of motherfuckers, when it's time to fuck or have some sex, it's like, all right, I guess we just meet each other in the bedroom, and it's nothing throughout the day that kind of builds that anticipation up or builds that intrigue up. I think a lot of motherfuckers be having sex nowadays, and it's sort of like, y'all don't even talk. Y'all been fucking for years, but you haven't talked about sex in years. It's like shit like that makes a shit get boring. And then like romance is like, it's the intentionality of love. It's like, yo, how can I show you how much I love you today? Or how much, what gesture can I do to let you know, like, I really find you sexy.
I fuck with you. Yeah.
I really find you attractive.
Let me ask you a question.
I really only want you. You know what I mean? Shit like that.
Let me ask you a question. Do you feel like after a certain amount of time, the art of seduction dies in a relationship? Like, you know, we just asked the question, how do you feel about intimacy, or what's your idea of intimacy and romance, and have you felt you've met somebody that completely matched you in that sense? But another part of that is, if you take a look at some things that people did to entice or inhibit a response in that manner beforehand, you know, before life started lifing.
Yeah.
They're not doing the same shit. Or maybe they've done it so much that it gets boring. So, as you being married, because, you know, I'm out here in these streets still, I find that the old adage that is said is true, and I believe it to be true. It's way easier to please 100 women one time than to please the same woman 100 times. That requires some definite, you know, some definite studying, some definite understanding, some definite knowledge, some definite in-depth seduction, intimacy, romance, all of the intricacies that go into it. What would you say is something that you found that you've experienced or you've learned in doing such? Season 3, I love it.
Season 3,
Let's
gotta love it.
Go.
I would say that, like,
go.
I thought about this shit like a couple of months ago, and I thought about this shit. I wouldn't even say a couple of months. I would say earlier this year. I've been with my wife for close to 12 years.
Yeah, it's been a while. Not spring chicken anymore.
And no disrespect, I could see why motherfuckers would default to cheating. Because it's so easy to be on some shit like, I could bring on somebody new and then use like my knowledge, what I know, my tactics of intimacy, my tactics of romance, my sexual tactics of, you know, exploring a woman's body and being on some shit like, oh, this might be new to this new woman. And it'd be nice. And we already got the excitement and the vibe going and shit like that. That's cool. Like, it ain't nothing that I could do, like, right now, currently, if I just went to my default playbook, that my wife would be surprised by. It'd be some shit like, oh my God, what's that? It's like everything that's in the general playbook is already plays that we studied. Like, we already know that. So it would take some thinking outside the box and exploration to keep things spicy and keep things new and shit like that. The problem I feel like people fall into, and if I can, I need to throw a shot at my ladies, bro. I gotta throw a shot at the ladies.
Oh shit.
There are probably fuck that. There are probably a majority of women out there that are in long-term relationships that are having sex that does not make them feel spicy, make them feel sexy, make them feel new, make them feel that thing.
Okay.
That novelty, that excitement, and all this other shit. And being a nigga that at one point in time only fuck with chicks that was in relationships
Oof.
Y'all rarely tell y'all man that.
So you feel like it's a bit of, if I can draw a diagonal line to where I feel like you were going, I feel like seduction and keeping things spicy also includes a bit of curiosity sometimes. Like
it takes a bit of curiosity, it takes some bravery, it takes a little bit of curiosity in your partner. Like, yo, if you ain't talked to your partner about like their sexual wants, desires, curiosities in the last 3 years, then
you might be
you run
out.
risk of them going outside the household.
Might be missing out,
exploring that shit themselves and shit like that. You know what I mean? So I think there's the shot that I gotta throw at my females is I've been with a number of women in my life. You've probably been with more, so you probably have a better answer to this shit. I've rarely run into women in the past that will offer an honest critique of the sexual health of y'all relationship. Like, you doing some shit I don't like. You doing some shit I do like. Keep doing that. I want to try this. Like, some of y'all females out there really suck at giving feedback on what y'all want or giving suggestions about where the exploration could go from where y'all at to make this shit better. You get what I mean? Like, I've only run into that to like females that I just start fucking with. Okay. You get what I mean? But like, in serious relationships that I've been in, like, it rarely becomes a conversation to be on some shit like, yo, that shit was piss poor last night.
All right, I'm gonna throw a curveball at you.
Here's how we could be better.
I'm gonna throw a curveball at you, right?
I would catch it.
In my experiences, I found one thing to be the key to that. And you're right. Usually it happens when you're dealing with somebody new. As we said before, the beginning part of the relationship is when everything opens up.
Yeah.
But I believe the key to that, the absolute key, your level of vulnerability. I believe when you unlock that level of vulnerability, everything opens up. Because I feel like without vulnerability in a relationship, not to be frank, but it's pretty much fucking pointless. Like, I don't want to lay down with somebody that I can't lay down my concerns, fears, goals, aspirations, just as many of you will, dub it, pillow talk. If I can't feel in a safe space there, then I'm going to be very closed off there. And I feel like the level of vulnerability and the level of communication you have with somebody, especially when you're doing that, is paramount. And I feel like that's also a big reason why I've kind of chilled from that. Like, I don't want to just have those ones and twos and fews and everything else, because it's just like, it's pointless. It doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't satisfy me in a way that's like, ooh, yeah, like it's, of course, everybody has their needs and everybody has, what they need, and that's cool. But as far as making it habitual, as far as making it like a thing, like, I don't really see any interest in doing that anymore, because I've realized the value in myself, and the value in vulnerability and communication override all of that. And when you find somebody that you could be vulnerable with, like truly vulnerable with,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, the problem is like, if you are in a relationship with somebody who isn't vulnerable, especially when it comes to like intimacy and like romance or some shit like that, it's like you find yourself in a disadvantage, because especially if you're dealing with a woman, the most vulnerable and open-minded they're going to be is with somebody new. So you start to think to yourself like, I got a husband or I got a wife of, 5+ years or some shit like that. But you might have that coworker that's like, that you've been talking to on the side or some shit like that, your work wife, work husband or some shit. And they start talking all this sexual shit or their sexual escapades or things that they want to do. And it's sort of like you all ears, but like a motherfucker bring that shit up in your house. You want some shit like, we'll see. So it's sort of like, I think the big problem is novelty. I know I keep using that word and shit like that, but it came up because I listened to this therapist named Esther Perel and shit like that. And she talks about like a lot of times why people cheat or step out of their relationships is because they lack novelty. And it's a surprise. It's the element of surprise and shit. A lot of times people step out of their relationships because they're not tired of what's happening in their relationship or marriage. They're tired of the person that they have become in a relationship or the marriage and some shit like that. It's like, yo, I've really become the motherfucker that go to work, come home, cook, clean the baby up and shit like that, and then my husband about to bend me over on the side of the couch or some shit like that. Yeah. We do this shit every fucking Thursday.
Every fucking Thursday.
And every Saturday.
7:00.
And every once in a while or some shit like that. And then with this coworker nigga or some shit like that, it's like, happens. I don't know where the fuck we gonna meet up at. And it could be like, this nigga only took me to a cigar lounge in fucking the park. Yeah. And it's like, all right, well, fuck it. This is new at least. So it's sort of like, it's that part. And I think the thing that makes so many marriages suffer, because 1 out of 4 marriages are sexless. That fucking number is staggering to me. You know what I mean? As somebody who has a lot of sexual needs, 1 out of 4,
that's crazy.
I see why motherfuckers cheat.
That's crazy.
Or have affairs and shit like that. But like, if you are with somebody who doesn't even like to talk about sex, nigga, you talk about a red flag. Man, you don't shut up. Stop it.
Yeah.
It's tough. Lyrics.
Where we at? SZA was talking her shit, man.
So SZA goes on to say, fucked out of pity, it's cute that you lame. Dip cause it's mid, I can't fake like it's hanging. It goes deeper into the ideology of like us over patting ourselves on the back as far as our sexual conquest is concerned. And shit like that.
What'd she say?
Yeah, that's what she said. She fucked out of pity. It's cute that you lame. I mean, she gave the nigga some pussy because she like, I mean, it's cute that you kind of innocent and nice and shit like that. She said she dipped because it's mid. I can't fake like it's hanging. Like you ain't doing shit for my cervix and some shit like that.
You know what's crazy about that though? Like we put a lot of ego into that, and kudos to a lot of women out there that have been able to identify this. Like, you want to attack a man and like strip him, or you want to put a man in his place, attack that, because there's so much attached to that. It's pride, it's ego, it's masculinity, it's everything. Like if you had somebody say, going back to like old school, high school cafeteria shit, like if a woman told you was ugly, you could deal with that. You could deal with that. I mean, it might hurt a little bit. You could deal with that.
Yeah.
If a woman came out her face, it was like, yo, your dick was da-da-da, like, bruh. What?
Yeah.
What? Like,
I mean, it hurts because it's sort of like, I mean, biologically, let's say we talk about just a size situation. So like, you just attack some shit that I have no control over. Like, what the fuck you think? Like, nigga, that's why your dick little. Like, what the fuck you want me to do about that? Fly to Atlanta? Fly to Dominican Republic or some shit?
Yeah, go get one of them.
It's like, man, stop it. So yeah, you can see how that shit would like hit hard or some shit like that, because it ain't something that we can like naturally fix on our own. You can become the best man you can become the best man you could possibly be. Go to the gym, eat healthy, become wiser, become richer, and then have like the baby dick, and you just like, what the fuck can I say?
You can't beat that. You can't.
And you'll give it up to some nigga that's like, that watch cars for a living or some shit. I'm fucking up. That's tough. That's tough on the ego and shit. Like, a lot of us have our ego wrapped into our sexual conquest.
Absolutely.
And our sexual ability.
Absolutely. You know how many times I've heard women say, like, y'all have it easy? I'm going to say this right now.
Yeah.
Like, yo, for the record, as a man, I've never been in a situation where I felt like, yeah, I got it easy. when it comes to that.
Oh, hell no.
Like, I think the pure rejection or the pure ease of which you think things are going to happen would be very shocking. I would actually pay money to see it. I definitely would. I definitely would. I'd pay money to see it.
Bro, I would go as far, I can't speak for all ladies and shit. That's why we gotta get a female in.
Yes.
But I would go as far as to say, like, there's never been a woman that I laid with and the sex went like really well and the feedback was like really, really good. Like, yo, you fucking you blew my mind last night.
That ego trip.
That the ego boost is like, whoop,
Awesome.
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 I can't think of a time where I might have laid with that woman again and the anxiety wasn't just as high or higher than the first time.
Yeah, because
It's like, yo, I gotta live up to the
you
last
got something
time.
to live up to now. You got an expectation though.
I can't imagine, ladies, y'all correct us in the DMs if y'all disagree. I can't imagine that it's the same for females.
See, all right, so I'm going to take the opposite approach. I think it is in another way. I think what I found, like, you see a lot of memes like, you know, men be scared to moan in their girl ear. I'll be like, ah, you know, shit like that. Like, I think it is a little bit attached to that, but I feel like the argument that I've always posed is like, it's just a matter of when it comes to being able to get said satisfaction. Like, if I'm dealing with somebody that's giving said satisfaction and I know I haven't been getting it, I'm going to be on my best behavior. I'm going to treat it like I'm in school. I'm trying to get a star. I don't want to do anything to rock the boat. So as far as you're concerned, you're fine. But if I'm dealing with somebody that's able to get it at will, oh yeah, I'm going to have critiques out the ass.
Oh, for sure.
I'm going to be like, yo, why you do this? In the third quarter, why'd you do this? Like, yo, what was this water break about? Like, yo, I'm going to have a lot to say. So I feel like in that best course of action, the best way to move is always be honest, because it helps the person further pleasure you. And it also stops those, well, I ain't never have no complaints. Well, you about to get one.
Yeah.
You about to get one right now.
I think a lot of motherfuckers on both sides, man and female, kind of rely on that. You should know shit, especially when you've been fucking the same person for a while. They kind of rely on that. You should kind of know, or you should do the exploration and surprise me.
Mm-hmm. Or,
And they kind of think like, I guess I'm kind of guilty of it too and shit. Like, if I got to tell you and then you do it, like, we somehow have this bias in our head, like, or if I tell you and then you do it, like, it's going to be less pleasurable.
yeah, it's not the same.
Man, stop it.
Stop it.
Stop it.
Stop it.
How many times has us as men had a chick that might have been like sucking our dick and we was giving them instructions real time? And it's like, you know what? This feels a lot better. Keep up that work right there. And it's sort of like, yo, I think that shit applies to the whole gamut of sex and shit like that.
But I also
I think the best sex would be in a situation where you can have those honest feedbacks, either real time, before or afterwards, where it's like, yo, I like this. Do less of that.
I think what it is also is like getting back into the gambit of what we were talking about earlier, when, you know, men are more so interested in teaching and showing, where women want somebody to teach them or show them something. Like,
that's why men prefer younger women. They get to teach them.
I ain't going to pound the fucking table and say no at this point. No. Give me no. Nah. Something about a motherfucker that know what they want, man. That shit is attractive.
That
shit is attractive, man.
You talking about two separate things now.
That
Talking about
shit
two separate
there,
things now.
man.
But you could talk about a 39-year-old woman,
Yes.
or you could talk about a 21-year-old woman. But if I say, yo, do you want the 21-year-old or the 29-year-old? I'm like, I think I'll take the 21-year-old.
Well,
It's a difference. When they cross 35, it's a difference.
I will say this. Well, 21 and 39, right? I will say this. Approaching this tender age of 40 that I see, You can keep that 21 shit to yourself. I'm be honest. You keep it.
Between 21 and 39, I'm taking a 39 every time.
You can keep that.
Between 21 and 29, I'm taking a 21 every time.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Huh. Okay. Well, I'm letting you know right now. I'm trying to lose weight, but I don't like the gym. So I'm taking 39 and 29 every time. I'm telling you right now. I'm just telling you what the fuck it is. I'm telling you what the fuck it is.
All right, so let's get into this third verse. If there's even anything. Because we're coming up on 2 hours. Appreciate y'all listening. Go listen to that new Nas Magic 3.
Oh, man. Get that.
So Drake runs down the calendar in the third verse.
Oh, man, that calendar shit.
Maybe something to break. It was
dope.
It was executed very, very well.
Yes, it was.
He said, January, you pretend to see life clearly, yearly. February is the time that you put the evil eye and the pride aside. For fantasies of getting married and very scary. March got you already second guessing titles. April, spring is here, just like a spring, you start to spiral. Oh, that was nice. May bring some warmer days, poolsides getting very tan. June have you moving ice cold, going back and forth with a married man. July, that's when I found out that you lied. August, it was baby this, baby that, like you had your tubes tied. September, we falling off, but I'm still the man you trying to win over. October is all about me, because your turn should have been over. October is very young. November got you mood boarding for next year and you single. December, the gift giving month, and now you want to rekindle our year. Trying to build trust, showing me your DMs, how they trying to bag you. Ironic how the news I got about you ended up being bad news. Get a nigga hit for 50 racks, girl. The beef cost like it's Wagyu. Get a nigga hit, I'll make his ass see the light like a half moon. Shout out to QC. Pretty sure I made PMs like it's past noon. All I really know is W's and M's. Life looking like a bathroom. All I really know is M bags like I drove through and ordered fast food. McDonald's. Saying that I'm too guarded with my feelings. Who the fuck even asked you?
Boy. Said a lot. That man said a lot.
Have you? Lastly, we'll close on this though. Because we running longer than tooth. I know niggas got to get to work and shit. Is it true, or is it a thing that women's moods, people's? I want to.
Yeah, don't.
People's
man.
moods run through seasons like that on a yearly basis. I know we always hear about cuffing season. You want to lock somebody down because you don't want to feel lonely. Summer, I got to be outside and all this other shit. Do you think that we as human beings, romantically and companionly, want to go through these seasons of like confusion and our desires differ from month to month, like his lyrics might suggest? And is it hard to function on just intentionality of I need to stay in a certain element for this year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years?
I gave this verse a lot of credit because it resonated really, really deep with me. Yeah, in the dating world, yeah, it's seasonal mood changes, it's seasonal thoughts and opinions, it's seasonal outlooks. Like from January to March is when relationships usually kindle. By about April and May, you know, you're outside a little bit. When June and July come around and August, you want to be outside. So that's when you start finding shit out. You know, those calls you've been making, they ain't getting returned as quick. Those meetups ain't happening as long. You know, got this in the world and that in the world and this and that and this and that. By about, ironically, fall, September-ish.
Hello, September.
You know, that's when everybody try to get back in there. You know, I just want to find something, this, that, and the third bag. Why? Because it's cold outside. It's cold outside. There ain't much to do. Ain't nothing to do but lay up, you know, be content, be chill. You know, ain't no parties popping off. Ain't no rooftops going this way. Ain't nothing going that way. There's a lot of truth to that, and I've lived it myself personally. Like, I have yet to start, kindle, or even attempt to look for a relationship in the summer. Because you ain't trying to look for a relationship in the summer. You're trying to be outside. You're trying to be outside. So January to March, or January to about April, that's when it really gets kindled. But usually September to about December, that's when it gets started. Because everybody in the house, it's cold. Everybody watching those favorite shows, football season, those neglected women from 2K. Yeah, they want somebody to hug them. They want somebody to love them. So kudos on this. Kudos on that third verse.
So what about that way of thinking would make you be able to, if you got with somebody in the fall, what would make you think that you would be able to survive the next summer when they want to be outside again?
Honestly, I feel like that's a good gauge to see where you're at, though. From September to about April. So what's that, about 6.5, 7 months, right? Should be about 7 months.
Yeah, it's about
7 months.
6.5, yeah.
7 months, right? So I feel like it's deceptive because there's nothing to do. But I feel like, all right, for instance, right? When COVID popped off, it was September. It was around September-ish, right? Couldn't go outside, couldn't do nothing. Everybody was...
No, it wasn't a lockdown to the previous year, like maybe January, February.
Okay. So, you know, can't really do nothing in the house. Can't really talk to nobody. So that's when online dating and everything else started booming. The second they let people outside, it's over for that.
Yeah.
So find you somebody. I would say move a certain way with somebody that doesn't require outside stimulation to show you exactly who they are. And that's extremely important because that's how I view everything now. Like, if everything stopped moving and the world shut down right now, would I be okay? Would I be satisfied? Would I be intrigued by this person? Or is it just because I can't do anything? Like, the most common thing I can point to is, you know, we all been on punishment before. You pick up a lot of odd hobbies when you're on punishment.
Yeah.
Do you ever go back to those when you go outside?
Yeah, nah, but I guess the problem I have with what you're saying is you raise the probability that you're gonna meet an imposter like by tenfold. But like, if you meet somebody that's just coming off the hot boy or hot girl summer and like, I want to be shacked up or I want to be inside or I got that shit out of my system, and you spend like 7 months building a bond with this person only to have to wait until the summer to get exposed. Like, all right, who the real you is. I just spent almost, I don't know, 3/4 of a year getting to know one person, and now I have to get the whole brand new you, all the friends that you want to go out with that you met last summer again. And it's sort of like, I understand the idea of not wanting to meet somebody in the summertime, but
it would be
to
perfect.
think that the fall or after the summer would be the best time, I don't think that's a good gauge of who would be worthwhile for serious intention and shit.
I mean, if you could meet somebody in the summer, like,
that'd be great.
It'd be awesome because, I mean, you're getting everything up front. But seeing how everything has worked out and seeing how, you know, activities and this, that, and the third pop out and everything else.
Yeah.
You know, people don't want to be tied down in the summer. Like, people want to be outside and going here and going there and doing this and doing that and going here and going there. And summer would be the perfect time to test whether or not it's going to work. Now, whether or not it even gets off the ground is something completely different. But as far as the seasonal changes and everything else, yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I disagree. I don't know if it's the married man in me or whatever like that, but to have a motherfucker that's like, I'm in a serious relationship with somebody who feels like a particular season of the year they don't want to be serious about somebody. It seems like a potential red flag, not a red flag.
Well, I'm not saying
I would be more attracted and drawn to the person if my intention is to be in a serious relationship, to be on somebody that's like, oh, you treat every season the same. That's a little bit more predictable.
I'll say I don't feel like it's intentional, but I feel like it's unintentional in the way that it happens. Like your natural or people's natural thing is judging on a day like today. It's dreary, it's cold, it's wet, ain't nothing to do.
Yeah.
The second you see sunshine, it's like, yeah, I want to go outside. That's everybody's natural reaction. Even if you're not an outside person, you might want to just go outside, sit on your stoop, sit on your porch. Like, I just want to get some fresh air. So when you meet somebody in conditions in a season that takes that away, be prepared to see the whole other side of them in summer. And that's not saying that it might be detrimental, but it's going to be a shock because what you've seen up until 7 months is, you know, you've had consistency, you have conversation, you call, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. But now you have to factor in activities and you have to factor in the outside world. And as we said before, when you get in that relationship bubble and you start exposing it to shit, you start finding out a lot of shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I would tend to agree, man. I would tend to agree. I see both sides like Chanel.
Hey.
That is wrap. Woo. Episode 1, Season 3, Mannn podcast.
Coming out smoking. I like that.
I love it, man. It's a great way to start the season off. We appreciate you coming back after our hiatus. Everything looking up, man. We're going to try to get this season back on video terms. We're looking for new studios.
Oh, man, yeah.
We know y'all want to see our beautiful faces. We want to see y'all as well. And we would love to hear from y'all. So if you could up the feedback level, that'd be great, man. That is commenting on our posts on Instagram is the best way to get in contact with us. And also tagging us in posts that you find interesting in the topics that we normally talk about: relationship, mental health, wellness, things of that nature. Like, all you got to do is hit the @ symbol and type in MI. We're pretty sure that if you follow us on Instagram, that the Mannn Matters podcast is going to pop up. That goes for TikTok as well. Just engage in whatever. Yeah, just engage in whatever thing that we're doing. I'm not sure about this Threads thing. But yeah, we appreciate bringing this episode to y'all. We look forward to getting back on a regularly scheduled programming. Now that I've, kind of really sat and got into my daddy mode, I could kind of see where I could move and shake a little bit.
Back outside. Outside.
Yeah, I'm back with it. I'm back with the shit. So we was really looking forward to this episode. And this was really fun. Y'all, as y'all can tell by the runtime. So yeah, we'll be back with more content coming soon. Depending on Nove ass, he might want to be outside. Man. It might be as early as next week, but we'll see.
Hey, man. Don't forget, Mannn Matters is your hookup. Holler if you hear me.
Peace.